College baseball season is a marathon. 56-game regular season. You build a resume, play for seeding in college baseball, and today it's been a sprint. 14 games in 4 days as the American Conference is trying to stay ahead of an oncoming tropical depression and ahead of the rain. Well, we've arrived finally at Game 15. It is Championship Saturday in Clearwater, Florida. I'm Jeff Bryant alongside Garrett Walvert. And Garrett, we are finally here, finally playing for a title.
Most important time of the year, postseason championship implications. Both these teams have won American tournament titles in the past. UConn 2 years ago, and of course ECU, their first year in the league in 2015. It's been a great week, Jeff. We've had both, if necessary, games on the bracket this year, so we're playing in Game 15, ready to crown a champion.
Well, the team's about to take the field here at Spectrum Field. In the meantime, let's go down to the field with the third member of our broadcast crew, Haley Outen.
Garrett, you mentioned it, Game 15 here this week in Clearwater, and we're happy to have you back with us on Facebook Live one last time at this American Baseball Championship as UConn and ECU battle for the conference crown. We're going to be monitoring your comments all game long, so leave them right here in our comments section. We'll be interacting, asking trivia questions, and we're going to take you around this ballpark today. So happy to have you with us one last time.
Thank you very much, Haley. We'll check in with Haley throughout this morning's ball game as we get set for a 10 o'clock Eastern start as the Huskies and the Pirates get set to play ball here. And again, we'll crown the automatic bid, although both of these teams are safe for an at-large. As Garrett, we take a look at what Jim Penners is going to send up to the plate.
It's a veteran lineup, and it's the one he's gone with all week long, with Topa, Prado, and Susi at the top of the order. Feldstein, Stefanski, and Woodworth, who's had a nice tournament through the middle. And then Winkle, Fedko, who's the Rookie Player of the Year, and Moriarty. Well, limited up 1 through 9 should be an incredible matchup for these guys today. They have two players from their last championship game who started then, John Topa and Zach Susi, in the lineup today.
That's what the Huskies will send up to the plate so far this week. They've hit .290. That's good for 5th in the tournament with 16 runs. Oddly enough, between these two ball clubs, they haven't provided the power numbers this week. They've had very solid pitching, but only 1 home run between ECU and UConn coming into the championship ball game.
Both teams have been able to play on this field and at Robin Roberts Field. That helped us compress everything and get ready for Championship Saturday. And it looks like the Pirates of ECU ready to take the field. Jeff, if the uniforms and the hats look familiar, it's because they wore them in 2015 in the title game when they won their first American championship.
And they've appeared in a couple of those championship games, made the run a year ago. An injury-plagued year for Coach Godwin's Pirates. Last year expecting big things. Injuries held them back. This year they are healthy as they take the field, and we'll get our first look here at the ECU starter today, and it's going to be a solid afternoon as they are going to send Agnos to the hill, the left-hander.
Jake Agnos has only allowed 17 earned runs in his last 13 outings. That is incredible consistency for Coach Godwin. Agnos threw 2 innings of relief in Wednesday's win over Tulane. He struck out 3 and earned the save. And he's not only an academic All-American, he has chosen to represent the conference at the NCAA Leadership Forum in Washington, D.C. This young man is the definition of a student athlete. Anybody would be proud to have him on their roster.
That's what's going to set up behind him this afternoon, or rather this morning. Agnos on the mound, Washer behind the plate, Burleson at first, Lloyd at second, Brown at short, London at third, Packard at left, Hendrickson in center, William Sutton in right field. They've filled a 979 so far on the year with 48 errors. They've turned 44 double plays. They've done a nice job in the championship. They've turned 6 double plays so far on that ECU infield.
UConn and ECU both to start the tournament won their first 2 games, got into the winner's bracket, and then both stumbled in their first semifinal game. They were able to weather the attacks from Houston, and they were able to get here to the championship game. I don't know if you can pick a favorite in this game, Jeff. We really thought hard about it before the game has started. They both have elite pitching. They're both very good in the field. We'll see if the bats can win it today.
Jim Penders jogging down to third base. We'll see if his Huskies get on the board first. But as you mentioned, all things are equal as Jim Penders gets down there. Jim Penders, what a job he does down there. 4-time conference coach of the year. Big win over Cincinnati earlier this year in the league. And looking for the NCAA, they were one of the few teams, the last teams left out a year ago. As Haley talked to him yesterday, had mentioned Leave no stone unturned. Do the extra rep. Do the one extra thing you have to do to put yourself over the top.
I believe the quote was, embrace the chaos. They've done it to make the game here, and now we're ready to get underway.
John Topa to lead things off. Wind up and the pitch. It's going to be a ball to start us off here at 10:03 Eastern.
UConn 13-8 in American tournament games here in Clearwater. And they have matched up with ECU just once in the conference tournament. That was a 4-2 loss in the 2015 semifinals.
A little slight breeze blowing in from right this morning. The 2-0. That'll make it 2-1 as they'll come back.
Topa scored the winning run in yesterday's game to advance. He had been 0 for 4. He was able to get on base, get pushed around, and then Stefanski drove him home.
Wind up 2-1, jams him in for the called strike, and that'll even things up at 2-2.
Agno's making his 13th start of the year. He's thrown 56 innings, struck out 71. Opponents hitting just .257 against him.
Off the handle, still alive, Topa. Getting 281 with the homer, 25 driven in, 5 for 16 so far this week.
I'm sure a lot of ECU fans happy to see Bryant Packard back in the lineup in left field.
Went down a couple of days ago, fell funny in the outfield. Got the day off yesterday. Watch his team advance to the championship ball game, and we'll see how long he can stick it out in left field.
I know it was hard for him, you know, the conference player of the year, to miss 2 semifinal games yesterday.
Agnos 3-2, got him to chase the high heat. There's one away.
So the left-hander rears back here, elevates it right around the shoulders, and Topa, the leadoff man, swings through.
Anthony Prado, the sophomore shortstop, 317 this year with a home run and 22 runs batted in. Knocking the cover off the ball so far, 9-13. He leads the tournament right now, so he'll take a ball hitting .692. Has done it with just one extra base hit, a double, and a pair of RBIs. 4 walks, only 1 strikeout this week for Anthony Prado.
Prado, a sophomore, in last year's tournament, he pounded out 10 hits. As Jeff said, 9 of 13 this week. He scored 3 runs.
The shortstop, the hottest hitter this week. He loved playing all these games in 4 days. Says they need to do it more often. He's on such a hot streak.
A couple of other guys throughout this tournament that really had exemplary showings. Tyler Bielamovich, who hit a handful of home runs and also got into pitch yesterday for Houston.
2-1. That'll fouled off out of play. Back to his right.
Joe Davis for the Cougars as well. Looked pretty sharp at the plate.
3 home runs this week, including his record-breaking 32nd home run at Houston to become the all-time leader. 75 degrees here. First pitch, a little 5-mile-an-hour wind blowing in from right field this morning. Agnos leaves it outside. He got Prado to chase it. Evens it up at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The Huskies are making their 2nd title game appearance in the American and 6th overall just here in Clearwater. They made the championship game 4 times in the old Big East in this ballpark.
Ground ball on the left side. Deep throw from the hole. And that's going to get into the dugout. Brown trying to make a big play there, and Prado's going to end up at second, likely a hit and an error.
Turner Brown, with every play being magnified in this tournament, makes the nice play, but the throw just a little bit high. Washer was running down from the catcher position, but couldn't stop it before it got in the dugout. For Brown, his 13th error of the year.
So Prado at second in scoring position for the catcher, Zach Susi, who's been a warhorse behind the plate this week. 330 on the year, homer, 33 driven in. Three days ago on Wednesday, called all 18 innings that day. DH the next day, back behind the plate yesterday. He's hit .333 so far this week, so it's not affected his bat. Chance to give the Huskies a lead, but he softly rolls it to Litton. And there's 2 outs. Went after one of the outer half, just caught a piece of it on the cap.
Litton was already kind of in near the grass, was able to pick that one up on a hop and over to first in no time. Like to get a more solid swing on it. Looks the runner over, and there's your second out.
Isaac Feldstein waiting for Isaac really to bust open in the tournament. Just 2 for 14, but he's got great numbers overall this season. 276, 12 doubles, 13 home runs. Takes one on the inside. Quickly down 0-1. So Prado, who reached first on the infield single with the second on the air, still at second base in scoring position. Nifty little grab by a fan behind the first base dugout.
Both teams are giving him a hand from their dugouts.
So 0-2, Agnos a strike away from getting out of the first. Swinging a miss, he got him. Washer will finish it off. And that'll end the inning. Pair of strikeouts for Agnos. Still runs ahead at air and 1 left on base. There's no scores. We played half an inning here from Clearwater, Florida at Spectrum Field with ECU coming to the plate. Let's go back downstairs. Let's check in with Haley Outen.
I'm in a little different area of the ballpark than normal, and as you can see, it's a little lonely, a little empty out here at Frenchie's, but without question, one of the neatest places in this ballpark. And because of the early start today at 10 a.m., Frenchie's doesn't actually open until 2, so fans may not be able to enjoy Frenchie's here at the ballpark, but they can certainly go to the location in Clearwater. Certainly, probably will be packed here this weekend, but nonetheless, a great view out here and a chance to catch a home run maybe today too, right?
Absolutely. That's the best spot to catch a home run at this ballpark, and you see a few fans out there. You can go to the concession stand, still camp out under the Tiki Hut.
Well, I mean, hey, it's certainly one of the most popular destinations all week long here at the American Championships, and always has been.
Well, we saw Agnos get out of just a little bit of trouble there at the top of the first, and we'll get our first look at Trevor Holmes for UConn.
Trevor Holmes is a redshirt senior, 6'2", 228 pounds on the year. Holmes will be making his 15th appearance. All have been in relief. Jeff, he's thrown just 18 innings pitched and given up 17 hits, but he struck out 21, only allowed 8 walks. Opponents are hitting .243 against the oldest player on the team.
Going to face an ECU lineup, 287 overall this year. They're hitting .317 though this week in Clearwater.
Player of the year Bryant Packard again leading off after missing 2 games with a handful of injuries. Good to see him back for the championship. Dwanye Williams-Sutton, an MLB draft pick coming out of high school, in the lineup and setting things off. Brickhouse, Washer, and Hendrickson will take you through the middle of the order. Litton, Lloyd, who's an all-conference selection, Burleson, and Brown will finish it off. The talent level for ECU is maybe paramount in the conference. 6 players earned all league selections at the end of the year, and the future very bright with a lot of these guys coming back for 2019.
Here is Packard to lead things off this year. The player of the year, 401, 14 homers in the leadoff spot with 50 RBI, 2 for 13 here this week. Saw a big hitting streak come to an end on opening day at the championships. Takes a strike on the inside. So Holmes comes right at him to establish the strike zone. Leaves it off the plate. The umpires, Mark Wagers at first, Jim Shaley at second, Brandon Cooper at third, Grady Smith behind the plate, and we also have our 6-person crew with umpires down each foul line. 1-1 will skip in.
Trevor Holmes now in his 5th year with UConn. He joined the program in 2013 as they were switching from the Big East to the newly formed American Athletic Conference. 2014 he had to redshirt. He's been a contributor all 4 years, but Jeff, I find it interesting. He has just one career victory. He's Coach Pender's choice to start the championship game. He hasn't won a game and factored in that decision since 2015. It was here in Clearwater. He had a win against Tulane in the semis.
Misses just up and out. Well, at this point in a championship, and they'll do it with every team in every league playing in a championship game, the pitching has been worn thin a little bit. So Jim Pender's going with hopefully the momentum of that conference tournament win a couple of years ago. And behind Holmes today, there's how they will line up. Zusi behind the plate, Winkle at first, Woodward at second, Prado at short, Moriarty at third, Topa, Stefanski, and Feldstein from left to right. Dwanye Williams Sutton, the right fielder, grounds it to short. Prado with a backhand and a quick turn at second for Woodward for the 6-4-3. Fifth double play this week that the Huskies have turned. Sixth that UConn has grounded into.
For Dwanye Williams Sutton, just the second time all season he's grounded into a double play. Tough to chop him off.
Spencer Brickhouse, the DH, hitting .500 so far. 8 for 16 at the championships. Swing and a miss on the change at 78 miles an hour. And 1 and a strike call on the inside.
Holmes touches 90 miles an hour there to Brickhouse, today's starting DH. You know, both programs with one less day to prepare, a little bit shorter on starting pitching, though the bullpens have been rested.
0-2 sends one into left center field. That's going to fall in. And we've seen Brickhouse this week show a lot of opposite field power. He's hit a couple of doubles out in the left center field alley, delivers a nice single there.
Let's see the replay on Brickhouse. Boy, he's got long extension on that swing. Went down to get it and deposits that into left center field. So a 2-out single for the Pirates.
Sophomore catcher Jake Washer, it's 287, 6 homers, 38 driven in. Meanwhile, Brickhouse 4 for 5 on stolen bases this year. Zusi threw out a runner yesterday. It was his 14th. He's thrown out 14 of 67 so far this year. Check swing, he goes around.
Home plate umpire Grady Smith doesn't need to appeal there. He saw the barrel of the bat go through. Brickhouse, the sophomore DH, has scored 45 runs on the year, but has just 4 stolen bases.
1-2 to Washer. There goes the runner. It's going to be down low, and Zusi having trouble finding as it got pounded down into the dirt, and Brickhouse on the move picks up the stolen base.
Zusi talking with Holmes. Might have just been a missed opportunity there. I think he was expecting something else. One hops the plate. So both teams with a runner in scoring position to start the first inning.
Now with Brickhouse going on the pitch, gets credit for the stolen base. So Brickhouse now 5 steals on the season. In the dirt again. Zusi another nice stop out to his right. That's been the MO for Zach Zusi this week. Blocking baseballs that 3 days ago on Wednesday when he had to play all 18 innings. He took a pounding, so Jim Penders let him DH the next day. Hangs in there at the plate. Washer looking for this 2-out RBI. Washer has driven in 38 so far on the season.
Susie, certainly a workhorse. He's caught 27+ innings now over the last 4 days.
And stays alive. Finally went off. It was a little down and out, but don't want to take the chance at a championship ball game.
I like Coach Penders' decision to go with Holmes. He's your oldest player. He's thrown in 45 career games, a guy that's got experience. You want to see him get out of the first inning scoreless here, though, or you might get to worry just a little bit on how effective he can be.
They do have Tope a little bit deep in left field. He'll walk him just down and out. Third Pirate to reach base. Packard got erased on a double play. It's first and second for Drew Henriksen, the center fielder. Henriksen 285 of 6 doubles, 21 driven in. He's 4 for 10 so far, hitting 400 in the championships. So Holmes in a little bit of 2-out trouble.
4 Pirates have already earned their degrees. 3 players graduated earlier this month. Andrew Henriksen is one of them, along with Davis Kirkpatrick and Ryan Ross. Went through the whole cap and gown ceremony. The other Pirate who's already earned his degree, we saw him earlier this week. Wes Covington, the pitcher, he finished up last fall and is now enrolled in the MBA program at ECU. Really, Jeff, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. ECU trying to keep the momentum that they had yesterday. After falling 5-3 to Houston 2 days ago, came back and blasted the Cougars. Here's a high fly ball to center field. Stefanski on the move. Hauls it in on the run. Nice play by Stefanski to end the inning. As they'll come away with no runs on 1 hit. No errors. They'll leave 2 men on base. We played a complete inning here in Clearwater. We are scoreless. And let's head back downstairs to Haley Out.
We're so happy to have you viewers with us again on the final day of the American Baseball Championship, and you guys have been great all week long answering our trivia questions. So we thought what better time to start than the top of the second with our first trivia question of the game. Both of these head coaches have won an American championship, and we've talked about coaches across the conference all week long. But who is the longest tenured head coach in the American? Leave your answers right here in the comments section.
Thank you very much, Haley, as the Pirates and the Huskies are scoreless through 1 inning, as head coach Cliff Godwin and Jim Penders will play the chess match here today. We saw a nice chess match yesterday in that USF UConn ball game. Imagine the match will be just as good today. Again, as we've mentioned, 15th game here in 5 days. Try to piece that bullpen together after your starters are done for the afternoon.
There are 2 coaches that come to mind for Haley's trivia question, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think you might know one of them very well. I think the other one might be coaching in this game.
That's right. Don't want to give anything away. We will look for your answers on Facebook Live on the American Digital Network Plus, as the Huskies will send Stefanski, Woodworth, and Winkle to the plate. Agnos gave up just a 1-out single that included an error that advanced Prado to second but got out of the jam.
I think this is one of those games where with Agnos starting, you can really get him to go deep into the game. Just a talented pitcher who had an extended outing, 2 innings pitched earlier in this tournament, but is fairly fresh. I think it was big. They got the first ever complete game from a freshman, Jake Kuchmaner, yesterday to knock off the #1 seed Houston Cougars.
Lefty matchup. First pitch, a strike to the center fielder Troy Stefanski.
Kuchmaner allowed just 4 hits, 1 run, struck out 5 in a winner go home game. I mean, they looked explosive, sending Houston home.
Check swing, and there's the strike. 0-2. Outfield straight up, the infield back. Did he go around? No, he did not. So it's going to be 1-2. The most impressive thing about that complete game is that Houston the day before, remember, had scored 23 runs in 16 innings in a run rule game, then followed that up with 5 runs. They scored a record 18 runs and then went over Tulane. Popped it out of play. So Troy Stefanski down to 1-2. This was his big moment.
He said it was the best infield chopper to short he ever hit in his life. Yes, it was. Sends his team to the title game. Jeff, what's even more impressive, he'd been 0 for 4 in the game to that point, but he came in and made the difference. Nice to see the senior come through.
That was their first hit with a runner in scoring position yesterday and came at the most opportune time to put them on Saturday and another opportunity to win another American championship. Leaves it upstairs and a leadoff walk. So Stefanski aboard with 12 stolen bases, and Michael Woodworth, the second baseman. It's hit the only home run in this championship tournament between these two clubs. Now they're going to bring Stefanski back. They had the count wrong on the board. A little confusion there at home plate. Nerves a little high for everyone. Now 3-2 to Stefanski. Comes in. Dumps it into left field, so he'll trade a walk for a single, his 7th hit this week.
Second hit of the ball game against Agnos. Stefanski on. Agnos has become a de facto starter, especially at the end of the season. Since April 27th against Houston, this will be the 5th game he started. Started games against Wilmington, Cincinnati, and UConn. Went 4 2/3 and was knocked around a little bit by the Huskies.
Michael Woodworth again has the only home run so far between these two ball clubs. Litton's going to come in at third. He takes a strike. I believe Haley Outen, monitoring the comments on our Facebook Live on the American Digital Network Plus, may have an answer to that trivia question.
We have several answers and several correct answers. We asked you which of the head coaches in the American has been the longest tenured, and many of you answered UConn head coach Jim Penders, 15 seasons, and a bunch of correct answers flew in at once, but shout outs to Alan Powell, Jim Durbin, and Mark Rearick. I think you guys were all first.
Fly ball into right field as William Sutton will haul it in, and there's one out. Stefanski back to first.
I thought Jim Penders was in the conversation. I also thought your coach, Darren Schoenrock with Memphis, was close, right? Is he 12, 13?
14th year.
14 years.
Yep, getting ready to start his 15th year at the helm of the Tigers. Here is Chris Winkle, the first baseman, and Stefanski at first with one down.
You certainly have a lot of great coaches installed in the American right now with Todd Whitting at Houston, Cliff Godwin at ECU. You got a lot of coaches with a lot of experience and NCAA regional experience as well, which is coming up next week.
Brown playing up the middle at short as they'll check the runner Stefanski. So they'll play the left-hander to pull it just a little bit. Outfield's going to be straight up, but again, Brown nearly behind second base from short. Winkle just a pair of hits this week. Takes a strike overall. Again, Winkle this season, 264, 4 homers, 30 RBI, 15 walks. He struck out, though, 61 times. That's the second most on the Husky ball club. Strike at the knees, down 0-2.
It's exactly what you want as an ECU fan. Agnos throwing strikes, throwing hard, keeping it low. You know, the Pirates have one of the best pitching staffs in the country. ECU starters have a 3.2 ERA. That's good for 12th overall in college baseball.
Comes at him swinging a miss. On that 80-mile-an-hour slider. That's going to be his third strikeout of the game.
So Stefanski barrels up and gets that single to start the inning off, but back-to-back outs for Agnos, gaining a little momentum. Now he'll face Christian Fedko, the rookie position player of the year in the conference.
Fedko 246, 12 doubles, 27 ribbies this season. Just 2 for 10 though this week. And Stefanski with a leadoff single in the inning. It looked like he had the leadoff walk, but called back count was wrong. Gets the single to left field. for his 7th hit of the week. Still standing over there, and Stefanski with 12 stolen bases. So Washer sets up down the middle. Washer's thrown out 12 of 35 on the year.
Fedko might have been one of those recruits that other teams overlooked. 5'10", 180 pounds, out of Pennsylvania. And a freshman. Boy, he popped that right off the mask of Washer. But he has garnered 47 starts on the year for Jim Penders.
There's a single in the right center field, and there goes Stefanski motoring around second. There'll be runners at the corners with 2 outs.
I don't know if there's another handful of freshmen that can play like that. So Fedko, nice, goes the opposite way, allows the runner to move up from second to third. Kind of on contact, talking about him, and there he is, shining here in the title game.
Got that one inside off the handle, fought it off to the right side. That'll bring up Connor Moriarty, the third baseman. 222. He's got a little power in the bat. 9 doubles, 4 home runs, and 16 driven in. Chance here to get the first run in the championship game. Agnos looks, and there's the strike to the letters.
Moriarty last year as a freshman was another one of those rookies who came in and immediately found playing time for Jim Penders. 37 starts, 45 games, played second, third, and some outfield for the Huskies in a team that was very close to making the NCAA tournament.
0-1 drops it down to 78. That'll miss just below the knees.
The Huskies finished third overall in the conference last year, pounded out 33 wins, made it to the semifinals for the 4th year in a row.
Swing and a miss, really fooled him on that one. Just couldn't stop his momentum.
I think he was looking for something elevated there. That one was well below the bat.
Off the handle, stays alive. Agnos looking for his 4th strikeout. He struck out a pair in the first and sent down a Winkle here in the second.
I was talking with ECU's radio man Corey Glory. Told me that, you know, they ended the regular season against each other. Sunday, both teams flew down to Clearwater on the same plane, you know, sitting in the same rows as each other, talking.
1-2 upstairs.
Same plane, the teams all staying in the same hotel with the American staff. I mean, this is a family affair down here.
Well, they arrive together. They'll leave on the same day as well. One team with the championship trophy. Called strike 3 on the inside. The 4th strikeout for Agnos will end the inning. No runs. Pair of hits, no errors. 2 men left on base. We are going to the bottom of the second inning, and we are scoreless from Clearwater in the American Championship ballgame.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is home.
This is UConn.
Something's happening here. Groundbreaking research, discovering molecules that kill cancer cells, T-cell generation that could treat MS, breakthroughs in particle laser physics, top programs graduating business leaders, teachers, nurses, physicians, dentists, and healthcare specialists.
If you're thinking this only happens at great national universities, you're right. This is ECU,
America's next great national university.
Scoreless game. We go to the bottom of the second between UConn and ECU. It is championship Saturday here in Clearwater at the American Conference, and ECU's Cliff Godwin patrols third base, and this is a familiar time for him playing the last game of the week.
They've been to the championship game 3 times in the last 5 years now. He will also coach Team USA as an assistant this year under veteran LSU coach Paul Maneri. They'll have a chance to travel all around the country and international as well.
High chopper to short. Prado on the run, but tires lit on the first pitch. And there's one out for Brady Lloyd.
You know, the opportunity to do that, to work with Team USA, you start off in North Carolina, and then they'll travel to Taiwan. They'll travel to Cuba. They'll show how good the American collegiate team can be. What an honor for ECU's coach to be picked to be one of the assistants. There's a lot of history with Team USA baseball, too.
Probably will get a matchup with that Team Cuba ball club at some point down there. That's always a great experience. Remember the great Olympic teams they've had in the past, and always the big rivalry with Team USA. Lloyd showed bunt, got the defense bouncing around. I think Cliff Godwin and his Pirates have done enough to garner that host. They needed to maybe win a game. They just didn't want to go 0-2 here in the championships. Came in with that top 16 RPI. 42 wins on the year to 16 losses, sitting right around 13. Should have done enough to garner that host at Clark LeClaire Stadium. Ground ball to second. And there's 2 outs.
If we see the replay, that ball just got a piece of the grass and then squirted right into the glove, though. And nice pickup by Woodworth. Watch it come out, and it kind of picks up speed right there and finished lower. Nice vision. He was ready to make the out.
Allie Burleson, the freshman first baseman and pitcher, 258, no homers, 15 driven in. Boy, what a weapon he's going to be for Cliff Godwin over the next few years.
Starting first baseman, one of your better relievers. He's 5-1 as a freshman on the hill.
Gets it in the air to center field. Stefanski back to his right. It'll be a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We have played a pair of innings here in Clearwater. We are still scoreless between the Huskies and the Pirates. Moving along here this morning is some overcast skies, but it's keeping the conditions cool at 76 degrees. In the meantime, we will head back down to the field and check in with Haley Outen.
As we watch these 2 storied programs play, we have a great trivia question for you, and you answered the other one so quickly, so hopefully we'll stump you a little bit more with this one. But the American is full of talent on the diamond. How many total MLB draft picks have ECU and UConn combined for over their program's histories? A combination of ECU and UConn MLB draft picks. Can you guess how many?
Thank you very much, Haley. Garrett, I could not even begin to guess other than a lot.
I was talking with Chris, the radio play-by-play guy for UConn, and John Andrioli called up now that 2010 team that played here in Clearwater. 6 guys from that team all made the majors, all recruited by Jim Penders. To try and think about all the players over the history of ECU and UConn, teams with storied programs, NCAA regional, super regional appearances. Is it triple digits? I mean, is it high 70s or 80s? I mean, I don't know. I'm interested to see.
Like I said, it's going to be a lot. That's my very non-specific guess at this point. There's a look inside the Husky dugout. They're over at third base, and the Pirates are at first base. Pirates over at third base. Here is Agnos. He has struck out 4 so far. We talked about the potential, I think the likelihood that ECU should host Clark LeClaire Stadium, one of the better facilities in college baseball, and they're going to add a new hitting facility. And the first pitch, it's going to be down the first base line. Right now they have the outdoor cages. If you've been to Clark LeClaire Stadium past the grandstand, they will enclose, though. That's where the indoor hitting facility will be added to that already incredible ballpark. There's a called strike 0-2. They've hosted regionals before. They've hosted conference tournaments. It's a spectacular environment in Greenville as that one skips down and in. One, 2. Here to Topa. He struck out in the first.
Despite Topa starting 0 for 4 yesterday and finishing with that last single, he does have 5 hits in the tournament. Came in today hitting over 300 in Clearwater.
2-2 on the way. Popped it foul right side. It'll get out of play. Two and two. And the windup. Down and in. So a 3-2 count. It's all full here to Topa. 5 for 17. Again, came into the championship at 281.
I mentioned these guys rode the same plane down with each other. They know each other as well. A lot of these guys played in the Cape together. The Wareham Gateman was who John Topa played for last year.
Line drive into right center field. William Sutton will cut it off before it gets in the alley. Then he bobbles it. They're going to try for 2, and they'll have it. Topa on his horse. William Sutton looked like he held him to a single. Had trouble with the pickup in right center field. And Topa able to take advantage.
Just aggressive base running right there. Had his eyes on the prize the entire time. Looking at the right fielder. Decided at the last moment, I'm going to motor on into second. Pretty dry conditions out on the field right now. Just wasn't able to pick that one up correctly. He'll slide in. No tag applied.
Well, tried to barehand it, then just got off his fingertips, so opted to go barehand instead of the glove, and Anthony Prado will come up. As he steps into the box, let's head back downstairs. May have an answer to the trivia question. Let's check in with Haley Alton.
We don't have an answer quite yet, but we've had guesses flying in anywhere from 15 to 2 million. But we're looking for the total amount of MLB draft picks ECU and UConn have combined for in their program's history. So guesses, like I said, all over the board, but I'm going to give fans a hint. It's over 100, but less than 300. So we can at least keep it in that range.
Thank you.
2 million.
Base hit into left field. Let's see if they send the runner. They will not, as Packard got in on that one quickly. So back-to-back hits for UConn, and they've got something brewing here in the inning.
With Topa moving up from first to second on the previous play, they have charged Dwanye Williams Sutton with his first error of 2018.
Well, William Sutton again tried to pick it up with a bare hand instead of just using a glove, and that's where the error came from. So now you've got first and third here to lead off the inning. I don't know if you put all 9 teams together, there's been 2 million players play for American Conference teams in history.
A little hyperbole is a good thing. A little.
They're going to go out and talk to Agnos, try to get him settled down on the mound right now after back-to-back singles by Prado and Topa.
I just saw a reliever leave the third base dugout for ECU and run down. I believe it's Trey Benton, who we've already seen once in this tournament. He was able to seriously eat up some innings in a previous win, but Benton looks to be the one warming now. So we'll take a look down there and see who's up in the pen for the Pirates.
Agnos is cruising along with 4 strikeouts, only to add potentially a 5th. Ryan Ross now throwing, a left-hander.
Right.
Now Susie just needs a ball in play as he's down 0-1. Even a double play is going to get that run in from third base. Now, a couple of uncharacteristic errors for ECU already in this ball game. A team that only committed 48 errors this year coming into the game. That one is up and in. And that caught him in the right hand, it looks like.
89 miles an hour off the hand of Agnos.
Still shaking it out. He's already got that right wrist taped up. Base is loaded. Pair of singles that air, a hit batter, and here's Isaac Feldstein, and this is the opportunity this young man has needed all week. Just 2 for 15. Again, has their biggest power numbers of 27 extra base hits. He's got to see something to hit here.
Despite the low batting average in Clearwater, he does have 3 RBIs in the tournament.
Time called by Washer, the catcher, to reset everything. Fastball off the plate, 1-0, as the Husky fans making some noise here as they look to open this ball game up. They've hit 35 home runs as a team this year. Big swing and a miss, evens it up at a ball and a strike.
Might have to shorten it up a little bit there. 89 miles an hour. Twice yesterday, UConn against USF loaded the bases and came away empty. It wasn't until the bottom of the ninth that Stefanski walked them off. Could give themselves a boost here with a well-placed single.
Opa at third, Prado at second, Susie at first. There's a chopper, foul at third.
And the former Husky letterman Jim Penders made a play on that one. Got by him, though.
Always got one good play left in you. Maybe that wasn't the one.
Feldstein with a runner at every base in front of him.
Swing and a miss. Got him, and there's one away. And now that puts the double play in order. One out, fifth strikeout for Agnos.
The strikeouts just keep piling up for Agnos. His off-speed stuff just dies right in front of the plate, finishes low, and no one's been able to drive it with authority.
I want to say a very special hello to Scott Railing, who is in charge of the American Digital Network. He is on his way home today on a flight, sitting next to an ECU fan, Jim Rampart. They're watching the game. They're on row 8 on their Southwest flight. So if you want to watch the game, get to row 8.
Chatting it up.
Chopper foul 0-1 as Stefanski. Remember an inning ago, thought he had the walk. Count was wrong, came back, dumped the single into left field.
ECU fans have had a lot to cheer about in this tournament so far. Getting off to that 2-0 start. Back in the title game for the third time in 5 years.
The 0-1. Down and out with Litton in at third for the Pirates.
Also heard one of the ECU pitchers who didn't originally make the trip, Tyler Smith, did make the trip, came down yesterday. He's the team DJ on the bus rides. They were struggling without him. He came down. He was the bus ride DJ today on the way to the ballpark.
1-1. See what the tunes were?
No, they didn't let me know what they're rocking out on the bus ride here from the beach. Nice little bus ride, maybe 15, 20 minutes away from the ballpark, depending on the morning commute.
So the base is still loaded. One out for the Huskies. Agnos trying to get out of this jam. Does he go? Yes. Back-to-back strikeouts. He has 6.
Really an unbelievable pitch on the outside part of the plate, and it was just too much for Stefanski to lay off. Took advantage of the left-handed hitter. Watch this one. No access there.
So 2 away. Michael Woodworth has the only home run of the week between these two ball clubs. Leaves it low, gets off the glove of Washer, not far enough away. Sounds like we may be getting closer to an answer on our trivia question. Haley, how close are we now?
We're getting closer. We are halfway there. Brandon Ham has figured out how many draft picks ECU has had, 109. So if somebody can figure out how many MLB picks UConn has had, we might just have our answer.
Sounds like you have major league aspirations. ECU might be a good place to attend.
0-1. Swing and a miss, one after one, down and in. And all of a sudden, Jake Agnos a pitch away from getting out a bases loaded, nobody out jam. Now the Pirate fans are the ones making the noise. Boy, they brought a lot down here, a lot of purple and gold in the stands.
They won't hold the runners in the infield.
Swing and a miss. He strikes him out in order after loading the bases. What a performance by Jake Agnos. No runs, a pair of hits, and air, 3 left on. That may be the biggest sequence by a pitcher this week here in Clearwater.
7 strikeouts through 3 innings pitched and maintains the shutout on the scoreboard. He's pumped.
It's the bottom of the third. We are still scoreless, and let's head downstairs and check back in with Haley Outen.
We've talked a lot about schedule changes this week and finding a way to get 15 games in. I'm joined by Doug Kemp, who oversees the facilities here at Spectrum Field. Doug, it's been a wild week here in Clearwater, but you're no rookie. You've been doing this tournament for a long time now. Incorporating 2 fields here at the tournament this week. A lot of people think, oh, there's another field, probably just go over there and play. But what actually went into getting Robin Roberts Field ready to go for a game this week?
Well, it's no easy task, and you mentioned that we've been doing this for a long time. I was doing the math, and it's actually been 12 years, which is kind of surprising to figure that out. But yeah, having our facility and being able to provide the best experience for these teams is the goal. So having our fields next door, and if we do, check with the weather and we have to scramble to make this happen, being able to provide the quality of field that we have next door, continue to provide the best experience for the players. But the goal is to get the championship in for these guys and decide a champion on the field. So we were constant communication with the conference and the weather people to make decisions. It's always fluid, but just being able to have that option hopefully provides the best experience for getting a champion.
I know the conference office was scrambling to get any type of video coverage possible over there just so fans could at least watch their team play. How about the playing surface though over there? I know it's not exactly set up for maybe fans and media, but what is that playing surface like?
Yeah, when our normal setup is we would have a minor league spring training game over there, and we don't get a lot of fans for the minor league side. So we have grandstands, but it's not, like our facility here. You guys bring a lot of fans with you, so it's not ideal from that standpoint. But yeah, scrambling to get the lines hooked up so people can see this online. All the things that people don't really think about how to pull something off in a quick time. But hopefully it all works out, and getting the games in is most important.
What have been the challenges of having 2 games going on at once?
Very challenging. You're starting games at the same time, so making sure that we have staff split in half, providing food and beverage over there, just trying to make that as normal as we can. We're set up here to do what we do. We're not set up over there. Try to make it as normal as we can. So, hopefully we did that.
If I had talked to you at the beginning of this week, knowing the possibility of playing 15 games, and here we are on Saturday in Game 15, would you have thought at the time that we could get this done?
Looking at the forecast before the week started, we go back to 2009. We had a tropical storm here. Somehow we got the games in. If we could do it in 2009, I was confident we could do it this year, but I didn't expect this. So, to end this on Saturday with what we have coming up is huge, and I think the teams want to settle this on the field, so I'm glad we were able to get this in.
Well, thanks so much to you and your staff for making it a great week, as always, here in Clearwater, and happy we're able to get all the games in, so thanks a lot, Doug.
Thank you, Haley. I appreciate it.
Back to you guys.
Turner Brown grounded a short. Then as you just saw, Bryant Packard, his 3rd hit of the week, rolls one through the right side of the infield. That'll bring up Dwanye Williams-Sutton, who hit into the 6-4-3 double play in the first. We are scoreless in the bottom of the 3rd between the Huskies and the ECU Pirates in the American Conference Championship game, and they'll put a runner in motion, hit and run, and here comes Packard, takes a wide turn at second, but he will stop there as Williams-Sutton goes after the first pitch.
Figured that he would get a nice fastball to sit on, and he turned it right into left field. Great piece of hitting by Williams-Sutton, who gets on the board, can show some speed on the base paths. Now ECU with a chance to make some noise early. Jeff, Haley was talking with Doug, and he said 2009, and I shudder to think about that because I was here for that tournament in the Big East. The grounds crew had to tarp and work the field more than 20 times in the tournament. The only positive thing that came out of it was George Springer and UConn having that dance-off in the rain with the USF Bulls that went viral.
Here is Brickhouse, who singled in the first. Takes one down low. I remember seeing those YouTube videos that got sent out.
Trevor Holmes up there on the hill, his longest appearance all season has been 2 innings. He's done it twice, both in relief. New territory for him here in his redshirt senior season, going 2+ now.
As Haley was talking to Doug about getting the games in, I know a lot of fans probably watched in both locations, saw some sunny weather. Why are they moving the games? The weather looks great. Last night, it wasn't long after we wrapped up the second semifinal game. That one is pop foul offside. That'll get out of play. That we got a pretty good shower, pretty good system that came through. And if you have looked at the radar, you have looked at the weather forecast, trying to get this one in today at 10 a.m. before it comes in again this afternoon. Then I think tomorrow they're looking at rain all day. So they had to shuffle it around. I know when viewers probably popped in, they see sunshine. It's cloudy today, of course, but had they not done that, likely would have not been able to settle this championship on the field.
We are thankful to have such a veteran grounds crew led by Doug here with the Phillies organization.
Fly ball in the center. That'll send Stefanski back a little bit. Should be deep enough to advance Packard to third. William Sutton's going to try for second. Here's the throw. And just got the hand in there as they're going to plead that he got him tagged on the leg before he got the hand in, but the second base umpire, Jim Shaley, says he did not, so everyone is safe. They'll appeal it first to see if he left early, and he did not either.
I think Mr. Shaley made the right call. He got in just under the tag. Let's watch it again on replay. This ball lifted almost all the way to the warning track. For Packard moving second to third, he didn't even have to go full speed to get there. Here's the play, though. Where's the tag? Oh, he missed the tag, and Duanye did not overrun the bag. So now 2 in scoring position. You know, Jeff, the magic number for ECU is 10, as in 10 hits. The Pirates are 24-2 on the year when they pound out double-digit hits. They had 12 hits in their tournament opener versus UCF and 11 against U of H. So once they hit 10, they've just done such a good job of manufacturing runs.
We've got 3 so far as Susie comes back to the plate. Let's go back downstairs to Haley.
We've stepped our trivia game up today, it appears. Still haven't seen a correct answer come in. 108 total MLB draft picks for ECU and 92 for UConn, bringing a grand total of 200 total MLB draft picks combined for these 2 programs in the championship game.
Well, there you have it, 200. Your one viewer's just a few zeros off, but he got the 2 part. Here's a watcher who walked back in the first. 0-1. Holmes will step off the rubber as Washer comes off the plate.
In their previous title game appearances, both of these teams beat Houston. ECU with the 7-2 victory in 2015.
0-1, and good point you just made there, Garrett. Kind of odd to be sitting here in a championship game in the American, and only you and I are in red shirts today. We're so used to seeing the Cougar red in the stands in a championship game.
They've done such a good job in the regular season and in the postseason. One of the most consistent programs in college baseball, the Houston Cougars.
Upstairs, and with the wins they had this week, Garrett, they came in around a 50 RPI. Regular season champs, number 4 conference in the country. Probably thinking they needed a few wins, and they got them. They got 3 wins. UCF, Tulane, ECU bumped their RPI up. They've moved their win total to 36. I think they've done what they needed to do to garner that at-large bid. 2-1. Slow roller to the right side could be a tough play, but it'll be easily made by Woodworth, who got over there in a hurry to end the inning. No runs, a pair of hits, no errors, 2 left on base. We played 3 complete here in Clearwater. No runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Huskies. 0-3-2 for the Pirates.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Power comes in all forms. Power is a big tackle,
a big save,
a clutch hit,
and a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
Power is respecting an opponent, officials,
student athletes, coaches, and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions
while at the game.
Be American.
Power.
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 Power for life.
No scores. Both pitchers today, Trevor Holmes and Jake Agnos, have gotten out of some big jams, but maybe none bigger than Agnos, as he has struck out 7.
7 have been punched out by Agnos. He's scattered 5 hits, but he's done a great job, and his defense has backed him up. They've had a couple of errors, but they haven't come back to burn them. Agnos has been able to work upstairs and have them fall off the table as well. UConn's looked pretty off balance at times. The Huskies did load the bases in the last inning, but he was able to strand them with back-to-back strikeouts.
Jake, understandably, very fired up in there, as they'll face Winkle, Fetko, and Moriarty, the bottom third of the order for the UConn Huskies. The only freebie that Agnos has given up himself is when he hit Susi to load the bases an inning ago. No walks, 7 strikeouts. Lefty-lefty matchup, delivers one just outside for a ball, 1-0.
Jeff Agnos has struck out 7 batters 4 times this year, most recently at UConn to end the regular season. Turned the trick against Houston and also struck out a season-high 8 in a start against UNC Wilmington.
So one off his high of 8. Swing and a miss at 1-1. So many games, such a small space. Even if this tournament had run from Tuesday through Sunday, you still have to look for some guys to step up. Every year in every conference, you see those unlikely heroes that come through in a playoff setting. Agnos trying to be that guy today. Ground ball up the middle. That's the shortstop, Brown, who took a dive at it. He was playing up the middle, just out of his reach, and Winkle still manages to get it through. That's going to be his 3rd hit this week.
That's big for him. He had been 0 for 10 since getting a bunt single in the win against Cincinnati. So he breaks a 10 at-bat hitless streak, gets on base, a leadoff single for Winkle.
Christian Fetko had his 3rd hit of the week. Back in the 2nd, he ended up being stranded at 1st. Winkle with 6 stolen bases this year. And again, Washer has thrown out 12 of 35 for the Pirates. Well, throw to first. Well, this is an area that ECU has excelled in this week. They turned 44 double plays the regular season. They've turned 6 so far this week, but UConn has managed to stay out of that. Just 2 double plays this week on offense, as Fetko will take the strike.
Ryan Ross warming up in the pen over the left field wall. He's made 2 relief appearances this year, none since the Tulane win on Wednesday.
There's a strike.
There's Ross, who recently graduated earlier this month, and Trey Benton has gone down there to possibly start warming up as well. Nice to have the degree in hand and still be playing for your alma mater.
They'll check the bag at first. Winkle again with a leadoff single.
Great weekend for all the fans in attendance here in Clearwater. That one cruises by outside. The Tampa Bay Rays are hosting the Baltimore Orioles. The Margarita Festival, which I'd never heard of, but the Margarita Festival is going on over in Tampa. And of course, we'll crown a champion a little bit later today.
1-2 to Fetko. Just foul.
That ball had so much movement on it off the bat, you could catch a fish with it. I thought that was down into left field for sure, and it just hooked foul right into the padding. I mean, it looks like it goes over the head of Litton and ends up in foul territory.
Took a little bit of a left turn past Brandon Cooper, the third base umpire. Winkle with a pretty healthy lead, but he's leaning back toward the bag, and they'll throw over. Washer again calls time behind the plate. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Throw to second.
They're going to call him out. They're going to say that at the plate, Fedko stepped in front of Washer. Both men will be out. And Jim Penders is going to come argue his case, but on a replay, we might see him slowly walk in front of Washer's throw.
Well, the swing brought him out, but I think the argument's going to be that he never really made an effort to duck and get out of the way. And Washer had to throw over the head of Fedko at home plate. So there's 2 outs now in the inning. Here we go.
That's a right call by the home plate umpire, despite taking a runner in scoring position away from the Huskies.
It was nothing intentional by Fedko, but still the matter remains he was standing on home plate. So 2 outs, nobody on in the inning, and Connor Moriarty struck out looking in the second.
Agnos has now reached a season high 8 strikeouts. He's punched out 4 of the last 5 Huskies he's faced.
Meanwhile, that ties Agnos' high of 8 strikeouts. That one ripped foul.
In and out of the stands, and how hard was that one hit? It gets all the way to Packard in left field. He'll send it up to somebody at Frenchie's. There's a nice souvenir.
So we get a few Pirate fans sitting up there. 1-1. Drops it in there. And he's a pitch away from a new high, 9 strikeouts. Upstairs. Counting it up now, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. We remain scoreless here in the 4th in Clearwater in the American Conference Championship. Getting at the letters, but he's right there trying to get Moriarty to chase after it.
I think what's interesting is Agnos, as sharp as he's looked, has faced 6 over the minimum. Defense has been able to strand every Husky on base.
Called strike 3, a new high, 9 strikeouts for Jake Agnos. Sent him down looking. Pretty pitch there to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. There was nobody left on base. We played 3 1/2, still scoreless here in Clearwater. In the meantime, we go back down to the field and check in with Haley Alton.
While there is an automatic bid on the line in today's championship game, neither of these teams should have to worry about hearing their names called for the NCAA tournament. And for UConn head coach Jim Penders, he had a very specific message for his team on the bus today, and that was to do it for the guys from last year. Willie Yon, Wills Montgomery, John Russell, those were guys that left Clearwater not thinking this was going to be their last game. So today, this game is for them.
Jim Penders, you talk about a class guy, never thinking about himself, always thinking about his guys, whether on this team or the alumni. And as Haley mentioned, neither of these teams really worried about the NCAA bid. They know they are likely going, and hopefully for both teams, maybe a host side, ECU up to 13 in the RPI, UConn right around 16. If UConn secures the championship today, likely over at Norwich, with the team in Hartford having some minor league games next week, but likely in Norwich if they garner that host site. But UConn and ECU should be comfortably in the NCAA. I don't think there's any doubt for either of these ball clubs.
You look at the numbers in 3 relief appearances, well, 2 relief appearances and the start for Agnos. He's now worked 5 1/3 innings pitched this week. He's given up 8 hits, only 3 earned runs, struck out 11 Jiff, and thrown 125 pitches. He's 3 innings into this game. What's he got left? Championship performances certainly come here in Clearwater.
Well, you might have a plan coming in, going to throw this guy 2 or 3 innings, but if he's going hot, you keep him in there. What did Mike Tyson say? Everyone's got a game plan till they get punched in the face. Right now,
correct.
Yeah, right now it's Agnos and Holmes doing the punching, and they're doing it in 2 different manners. The 0-1 popped it up left side. Topa toward the line. Will he run out of room? Yes. Talking about how these pitchers are doing it 2 different ways. Agnos doing it the old-fashioned way by strikeout with 9 Ks, and Holmes just creating soft contact, letting his defense go to work as he has given up 3 hits so far. He does not have a strikeout so far in the ballgame.
He recorded a 1-2-3 inning in the second. At one point had gotten 4 out in a row, gave up those 2 singles to Packard and William Sutton, and then closed the door with 2 back-to-back outs to finish the 3rd.
Coach Godwin wants to talk with Henriksen real quick.
It seems like Jim Penders always has one of those redshirt seniors who's up for the task. Over the years, you've had guys like Scott Oberg and Elliott Glenn, and just these young men who came in with all the experience in the world. They've been in Clearwater, and right now Trevor Holmes is playing off that experience. The only career victory he has under his belt came here on this diamond against Tulane in 2015.
In the dirt, 1-2 down. Henriksen, who flew to center in the first. 4-4-11. One, 2, check swing. They will appeal, but I think he's good to go, and he is. Holds it back. You know, we talked about the possibility for them to host in Norwich. That reminds me, we have seen the graphics this week of the new facility that is on the way in Storrs, Connecticut, right now playing at J.O. Christian, the 2-2, and there's a base hit in the right field for Henriksen. A leadoff hit, his 5th hit of the week, and that'll set the table for Litton, who is 0 for 1. But we've seen the graphics and the plans, and from what we understand, they're going to get that shovel in the dirt this fall and get things going.
That's the plan, and not only will baseball get the upgrade, it'll be an entire complex upgrade. Softball and soccer will both see their facilities upgrade as well, with the brand new ballpark being the crown jewel on campus for Coach Penders' club. Hopefully in play for 2020, but excited to see shovels in the dirt later after this summer.
Sure, once the season wraps up, and hopefully it's a long season still to go for UConn, that Jim Penders will go back to Storrs and put his own shovel on the ground. There's a look at what is coming, and that, if you've been up there, is a massive upgrade to J.O. Christian.
A beautiful campus too. I mean, you've got to ride small roads to get into Storrs, but once you get to campus, there's so much life. It's vibrant, and I mean, I enjoyed J.O. Christian calling games there as well, but it was time for the upgrade that makes playing in that weather a little bit easier on the staff, the players, and everyone else.
Off the subject of baseball, if you have ever been up to Storrs, Connecticut in the winter, it gives you a new appreciation for what the Continental Army went through in that snow.
Gosh.
1-0, and there is a strike of Memorial Day looming on Monday, and Linton now at 1-1. Went up there during basketball season one year. The snow was piled high. It looked like a military trench dug through the snow to clear the sidewalks. One and one. And that one gets away on the swing and miss. So there goes Henriksen out to second base. We just showed you a picture of the renderings of what the new complex will look like for soccer, softball, and baseball. And Haley Alton, who is down on the field, has told us about it this week. And she has a lot of the very interesting details to do with that new facility.
We have talked about it a few times this week, and I think it's just so impressive, the facilities all over this conference. But for UConn, exciting times ahead as they announced a new state-of-the-art grandstand to be built behind home plate at J.O. Christian Field. It's going to be a 3-sided stadium with 1,500 seats, artificial turf, drainage lights, video scoreboard, press box with suites. It's also going to have a huge locker room, 35 lockers, showers, lounge, really hooking the players up, and indoor pitching mounds for the Huskies. So project is set to begin this fall and to be done by the 2020 season. So exciting times ahead. And as we have UConn and ECU fans tuning in, tell us about your favorite traditions at your home ballparks. We want to learn more about both of these schools.
Linton strikes out. That'll be the first strikeout today for Holmes. There's one away with Brady Lloyd coming up to the plate. He is 0 for 1. He grounded out the second, 3 for 14 here in the championships. I want to tell Jim later today, Coach Pender's given my idea for the heated turf. See, we'll put that. I'm sure the players would love it.
Need someone to invent it, and then you'll install it.
Well, they have the heated sidewalks. All I got to do is run the pipes up under there. 0-1. I'm not going to pay the hot water bill, though. 0-1 with Henriksen waiting. He singled and advanced to second on the pass ball as Holmes will come off the rubber and looking back. I would say most of these teams, their favorite tradition, their home ballparks have been winning. If you look at the caliber of program this league has. Swing and a miss, down and in. One of my favorite things about J.O. Christian right now, as you take a look at this, is their PA announcer swinging a miss. And then they have like an oldies theme on Sunday at BP. And I think he's an old radio DJ, just has that old school radio voice. They got a DJ's batting practice with the tunes from the 50s and 60s and some from the 70s. 0-2. I think that's a good way to get into your Sunday. We all know those Sunday games. Whoever can kind of wake up first usually gets the win. And that, you know, we all like our modern music, whether you like the rock or the rap or everything. That's great for Friday and Saturday, but that's a way to get into Sunday up at UConn. It's a really neat deal.
Wind started to blow in pretty hard through right field right now. Flags coming at us in the press box.
1-2, skips in the dirt, and that'll be a wild pitch. So we'll put Henriksen over to third. So he singled with the second on the pass ball. Now the wild pitch will advance up 90 more feet.
For Holmes, that's his 4th wild pitch of the season, and this one finished well in front of the plate and off to the left. As you see there, it bounces off the wall. Now runner in scoring position is Lloyd, the all-conference selection. Lloyd will have a chance to drive in a run here and start the scoring in the title game.
Well, they are anticipating a low-scoring game with the infield drawn in already here in the 4th inning. To third. Prado has the lunge to his right, gets the throw to the plate. They've got the rundown. Textbook job by Susie. He took the ball and ran him back to the base and applied the tag for the 6-2 putout. Prado, that was a good job. He had a lunge to his right. Knew he had time, so gathered himself to throw a strike to Susie, and Susie, excellent job.
You could have hit it anywhere else in the field. There might have been a chance there, but pulled it to the left side. And of course, they're just going to go immediately with the play. Kind of off balance, still a strike right there to home. Reaching on a fielder's choice is Lloyd. You see the tag there. He'd already moved up from first to second, so they'll lose the runner at third, but do have the runner in scoring position.
A runner at second now with a pair of outs. Burleson, ground ball to second. Woodworth on the one will end the inning. No runs, no hit, no errors, and one left on base. We have now completed 4. We are still scoreless between the Pirates and the Huskies.
Oh, that ball is hit deep. Left field. Way back. That ball is gone.
Double play ball potentially Schreitenstalls over to first. In time, double play, and that ends the game.
$7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Well, moving along here in the fourth inning, still scoreless, and they are going to make a move on the mound, and it looks like we are going to see Ross. We saw him getting loose in the bullpen, so the Pirates will make a move.
Ryan Ross with 6 saves on the year, 2 wins and 4 losses, and a 2.7 ERA. This will be his 3rd appearance, all in relief here in Clearwater this week. Ross has thrown 46 2/3 innings pitched, given up just 35 hits, 5 walks, and struck out 46. Opponents hitting just .206 against Ross, who recently graduated from ECU.
Jake Agnos, 4 innings, 6 hits, no runs, no walks. He struck out 9. We'll talk about him in a little bit. In the meantime, let's go back downstairs to Haley Outen.
A lot of comments coming in about fans' favorite part about their home games at their respective stadiums. And from ECU, a lot of talk about the jungle and when there's a run scored at Clark LeClaire, a cannon is fired. And Jeff, I think we've had some fans from the jungle make the trip down to Clearwater this week.
We absolutely have. They've been just as rowdy in the backstop as they have out in left field. They have had a lot of fun. And that group from Clark LeClaire that has been sitting behind home plate, and a lot more gold and purple in the stands today, but they are still back there. Made an overnight trip, drove overnight and arrived Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock. Still made it to the ballpark here to watch their Pirates play.
Little note on the starter for ECU, Jake Agnos, 4 innings pitched, and he set a conference record, the most strikeouts ever by a pitcher in the title game. He had 9. The previous record was 6 by Louisville's Drew Harrington in the very first title game back in 2014.
It took him just four innings.
So congrats to Jake Agnos. He certainly put his team in position and pitched well in his start today.
Took him 76 pitches, and 54 of those were for strikes. Here's the 2-1, grounded to the right side. Long way to go for Lloyd, off balance, and he'll retire Topa, and there's 1 away. Anthony Prado 2 for 2. Singled and with the second on the air in the first. He would single in the third and be stranded at second yet again. 11 for 15. First pitch on the way. He is red hot right now. And he's going to be flirting with a potential conference record if he gets another couple of hits. Line drive to center, and there's one. A 3 for 3 day. 12 hits this week for Anthony Prado.
Well, it's another Husky who holds the tournament record for most hits in a week. Brian Danello with 13, and Prado is right there nipping on his heels. Great stroke at the plate. Good vision, sees the ball coming in well, and provides a base runner for the Huskies trying to break this scoreless tie.
So 1 on 1 out for Susie. 0 for 1. He's been hit by a pitch. Popped it up left side. Packard over. Has room this time as he goes into the wall to make the catch. Nice play by Packard.
Still just a sophomore, the Conference Player of the Year draws his fans' applause, makes a nice play, and retires the batter.
2 down for Isaac Feldstein. 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Again, their big stick in the lineup as far as the power numbers. He'll check it first. Again, they'll watch the runner. An inning ago, they tried to put Winkle in motion. He was erased to the caught stealing with the interference at home plate by Fedko. Ended up being a double play. Swing and a miss.
It's been two very different relief appearances here in Clearwater for Ross. Against Tulane, he did 2 innings of scoreless, hitless relief and struck out 3. But against Houston, ran into some trouble. He only got 1 out through 8 pitches and allowed 2 runs to score.
0-1, ground ball to third. Litton goes to second for the out in the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. Halfway through this championship ball game, we still have no score between UConn and ECU on the American Digital Network Plus.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is home.
This is UConn.
Something's happening here. Groundbreaking research, discovering molecules that kill cancer cells, T-cell generation that could treat MS, breakthroughs in particle laser physics, top programs graduating business leaders, teachers, nurses, physicians, dentists, and healthcare specialists.
If you're thinking this only happens at great national universities, you're right. This is ECU,
America's next great national university.
Still scoreless in Clearwater on a championship Saturday morning between ECU and UConn. I'm Jeff Clyde alongside Garrett Walbert, and let's go back downstairs. Let's check in again with Haley Outen.
Following today's game, both of these teams will expect to hear their names called for the NCAA tournament. However, both teams will actually be staying in Clearwater until Sunday, since the championship was originally scheduled for then. But the Pirates, they'll be in the air tomorrow night when regional sites are announced. But then on Monday, they're going to have a watch party at Mellow Mushroom, I hear, in Greenville. So a chance for fans and media to come out and hear who the Pirates will be playing.
Sounds like that'll be a lot of fun. Of course, now, as we know, Scott Railing and some other viewers watching in the airplane, they may be able to find out if they get one of those host sites on the way home tomorrow night on the plane ride. 1-1 now to Turner Brown. Guess it'll be a long night and a half of some Fortnite or whatever they're going to be playing after today. That's as we found out, the new deal. I don't know if they're going to be able to get out on any kind of spike ball. Haley, you told us about Fortnite a little bit earlier this week. Did you ever find out what it was? I know it's some kind of game on the phone.
I still have some research to do, but it appears Fortnite is popular amongst every single team here at the conference tournament, so I think that's safe to say. And actually, I found out that ECU players traveled with their PlayStations, if I have that correct. So they're bringing their PlayStations, and then they're all playing against each other and talking in their rooms, playing each other. So I still have a lot more to learn about Fortnite, but it's very, very popular.
Leadoff block by Turner Brown. I didn't know you even traveled with your. I didn't know the PlayStation was still out, but apparently it is. Back at the top of the order, Bryant Packard. Coming back after the day off, after going down a little odd in left field the other day, he's drawn a walk and singled and just made a nice catch in left field. So he looks at full strength, having a nice morning for the player of the year.
He'll face Trevor Holmes, who's now in his 5th inning of work. That was the 3rd walk that Trevor's given up in today's ball game.
So Brown will take his lead at first. A little bit off the plate there. Packard 3 for 14 so far. And he's been on twice today. Holmes today, 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 walks, and a strikeout. Up and in under the elbows, 2-0.
88 miles an hour there. The longest appearance on the season for Holmes was 2 innings. So over the wall right now is C.J. Dandino, number 39, warming up, a right-hander for UConn.
There goes the runner. They show bunt. It is a strike. The throw down to second. Not in time. So Brown motors in with his 8th stolen base of the season.
Susie always does a nice job. He throws to the correct side of the bag and throws it there quick, but this is such a good jump by Turner Brown. No time for Susie to get him.
Brown's foot was already in the bag by the time they would have been able to apply the tag. 2-1 count now to Packard. Chance to show bunt again. They are back on Packard. I don't know if you want to bunt with a guy with 14 home runs, and they don't. That's just as good, though. It rolls and back spins right into the bare hand of Susie. He makes the play. It'll be a 2-3 put out. And that'll move Brown over to third. So a runner 90 feet away with 1 out for Juanye Williams-Sutton.
That ball had some interesting spin on it. You couldn't ask for a better barehanded pickup by Susie. He was even able to check the runner at third before going to first.
It's like he lobbed it up on the green really nicely.
Takes a big hop. He's up there off the dirt right to his hand. With a dangerous hitter like Williams-Sutton coming to the plate, this might be the end of the day for the redshirt senior Trevor Holmes, who literally gave everything he had, and the change will be made. Pretty good performance to go shut out scoreless to this point.
4 1/3, 4 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. Holmes today would throw 62 pitches, 36 for strikes. He'll leave with the book still open. Brown could be charged to him if he scores, but right now 4 1/3 shutout innings. So he and Jake Agnos, really a nice job dealing against each other, but both starting pitchers now are done. Again, we are here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Still scoreless as UConn's going to make a move, and we'll come back and tell you more about the reliever here on the American Digital Network.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
a big save,
a clutch hit,
and a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
Power is respecting an opponent, officials, student athletes, coaches, and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions
while at the game.
Be American.
Power.
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 Power for life.
Oh, that ball is hit deep. Left field. Way back. That ball is gone.
Double play ball potentially Schreitenthal's over to first. In time, double play, and that ends the game.
Now C.J. Dandino, the new pitcher for the Huskies, will come out, the right-hander, in a scoreless game with a runner at third and 1 out.
So Dandino threw earlier this week on the 25th against Houston in a game that the Huskies could not win. They fell to the Cougars 7-6. Dandino with 2/3 inning of scoreless, hitless relief. He also had a strikeout, only threw 4 pitches. This could end up being a long outing for him if he can strand the runner here and just come back for a couple of innings and try and preserve what could be victory for the Huskies.
He'll face Juanye Williams-Sutton. Sutton today has hit into the 6-4-3 double play. Singleton was stranded in the 3rd inning. 5 for 17 so far on the week as Dando is getting close to being ready. Both teams have had a few opportunities, much like yesterday in the UConn USF game that you and I called, Garrett. Both teams yesterday had opportunities, struggled to make the most of them until the end of the game. These teams today combined 3 for 22 with runners on and 1 for 14 with runners in scoring position, and the 1 hit they had just pushed the runner over to third base. It's just good pitching and getting out of jams.
Yep. Dandino on the year has made 16 relief appearances. He's 1-1 with a 4.5 ERA. In 21 2/3, he's struck out 22. Opponents are hitting .238 against him.
And again, they're going to have the infield in. Up and in. That just grazed him on the shoulder. It's 1st and 3rd.
So he comes in and hits a batter, just the 4th all year that he's plunked. Maybe not the right word to use. That one got a piece of the jersey, it looks like. Let's take a closer look. Yep, that got the top of his left shoulder.
Got the logo. I want to tell you the other day, wear your big jersey. The largest jersey you have. Here's Brickhouse. Singled in the 1st. He flew to center in the 3rd. 9 for 17 so far this week. That ball will miss 1-0. William Sutton has 17 stolen bases. They could potentially send him just to keep Brickhouse of a double play situation. Foul ball. That'll get out of play as Topa will give it a look. Brickhouse picked up a stolen base earlier in this ball game. He's at the plate now, so they've had 1 steal today on Susie. Actually 2 steals, the Browns stealing 2nd earlier this inning.
Number 25, Joe Simeone, warming up over the wall for the Huskies. They'll continue to have a man ready to go if things falter here in the title game.
Ooh, they faked the 3rd, looked to 1st, and nearly had William Sutton. If he'd have gunned that over there immediately, probably has Duanye.
Turner Brown had all of his attention at 3rd, though. If I throw it to 1st and it's not on target, it's a 1-0 game. Probably the right call.
Just caught a piece of it. One, 2 now from Dandino. Left that one high. Jake Washer on deck with 10 doubles and 6 home runs. Brickhouse 16 doubles, 10 homers. Just missed.
The previous starter, Trevor Holmes, in 5 seasons at UConn, appeared in 45 games. His longest ever outing, 2 1/3 innings pitched. Today he goes 4+, allows just 4 hits in a title game appearance.
There goes the runner. Ground ball in a second. That's going to get through. The Pirates are going to lead it. Woodworth moving to the right with William Sutton comes back to his left. It'll get through as Turner Brown will score and Brickhouse with the RBI single.
Brickhouse hit this one hard, past the glove of Woodworth at 2nd base, and puts another RBI onto his stat sheet. He's now got 48 on the year.
Big run here in a slow scoring affair. And as you mentioned, as they come out the top to Dandino, I don't think Cliff Godwin or Jim Penders could be happier with what they got out of Holmes and Agnos today.
You know, Agnos sets a record, most strikeouts in the title game. He kept UConn off the board. Josh McDonald talking with his staff, Cliff Godwin talking with his runners right now. Let's go for more. Let's put this thing out of control in a hurry if we can. There's only 1 out in the inning. Be smart. Smart base runner, smart at the plate.
You're going to break this thing up as everyone is on the hill. That'll close the book, by the way, on Holmes. 4 1/3, 4 hits, 1 run. It's earned, 3 walks, and 1 strikeout. And let's go down to Haley Alton. She has more on the starter today for UConn, Trevor Holmes.
Yeah, you mentioned Trevor Holmes, the redshirt senior, and Coach Penders says this guy's like 35 years old. He's been around forever, but pretty neat moment for the redshirt senior, making his first ever collegiate start in this title game.
Probably has to go around and convince people he's not in the adult student program. He's been there for a while.
He grew up on the old Nintendo, the old PlayStation. What is this Fortnite stuff? I'm confused. That'll bring Jake Washer to the plate. Washer this week with a pair of RBIs, but he's batting under 200. Big time opportunity here with Dwanye Williams-Sutton on third.
So Washer has first and third and a chance to add to this lead. Runner goes, hit and run, and it's a 2-0 lead as Washer comes through. Williams-Sutton in. Brickhouse has a stop at second base. 2-0 ECU.
Jeff, just his fourth hit of the week, but he drives in the run to make it a 2-0 ball game. Couldn't have come at a better time. And now UConn struggling a little bit up there on the hill.
Well, it's contagious, and right now they are seeing things. That's 4 men on and 5 plate appearances. And now Hendrickson is 1 for 2 today and 5 for 12 in the championships. And again, it's going to be Susi, and here comes Prado in to talk to Dandino and get everything straight on the infield. They put the runner in motion again, and it pays off.
35 sacrifice bunts on the year for ECU. Now, you have an out in the inning, but with 2 on, do you possibly try and put both of them in scoring position? Or are you seeing the ball well enough from Dandino, who's just checked into the ball game, to let your guys swing away?
Well, it seems like you're seeing it pretty well. I would go with what's working right now. We'll see. And they do. And it's back up the middle. Here's Brickhouse. They're going to try to score him. Throw from Stefanski. It is cut off, and it's 3-0 Pirates.
A scoreless ball game here in the bottom of the 5th, and then ECU erupts for back-to-back-to-back RBI singles, all into the outfield. That one almost took Dandino's head off, and it's a 3-0 ball game.
22nd RBI of the year for Drew Hendrickson. Still first and second, just 1 out. 3-0 Pirates here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Connor Litton over to a ground out to short and a strikeout. He has 4 doubles, 5 hits coming into this game in the championships, 4 of those for extra bases. Ground ball. That could be the double play they wanted, and they'll get it to get out of the inning. A few batters too late for the Huskies. ECU comes away with 3 runs. They did it on the strength of 3 hits. There were no errors. They'll end up leaving 1 man on base. We have completed 5, and all of a sudden the Pirates now have struck first. They lead it 3-0. In the meantime, let's head back down to the field with Haley Outen.
We mentioned where the Pirates will be watching the NCAA selection show on Monday, but for this UConn team, they'll also be in the air tomorrow night when host sites are announced. And UConn wondering a little bit more if they may get that host site, so they'll be in the air and may not know actually until they land on the ground. But then on Monday, they're going to return to the football complex, the site of last year's heartbreak, where they watched the selection show and found out that they would not be continuing their season. So they're going to return to that place. It will be just the coaches and just the team.
Well, both teams waiting to find out what is going to happen over the next 2 days between hosting and going to regionals. Here in the next 4 to 5 innings with just 4 to go now, we'll find out who is crowned champion of the American Conference through 5. The Pirates now lead at 3-0 with that 3-run 5th inning, and once they got it going, it was hard to stop before Connor Litton grounded into that double play. Both starters are done for the day. Both teams now into their bullpens, and the Huskies will have to try to respond with Stefanski, Woodworth, and Winkle due up. That's going to be 5, 6, and 7 in the Husky order. And I'm sure they're going to have a lot to say about this ball game. I would think this is far from over.
I do too. Ryan Ross, though, has been staked to a 3-run lead. This is a special moment for him and his program. You've got the lead. Now you got to pitch downhill. You got the wind blowing in pretty hard at your back. You're going to face part of the middle of the order, some of the hottest hitters for the Huskies.
Stefanski is 1 for 2. He is 7 for 15 so far in the tournament. And then Woodworth behind him has the only home run for these 2 teams this week. And Winkle a 1 for 2 day. Drops it in there for a called strike. And sends one into center field. A leadoff single for Stefanski, his second hit of the day. So the Huskies trying to set the table and answer back. Michael Woodworth 0 for 2 today, 3 for 15. Again, the only home run between these two clubs in the championships.
Now 2 singles given up by Ryan Ross in relief. Gave one up to Anthony Prado, then got back-to-back outs. He'll try and deal with Stefanski here on first, and nobody gone.
Outfield straight away. Their double play depth up the middle. And ECU's turned 6 in this championship tournament. And they'll put Woodworth ahead 1-0 in the count. Left-hander well off the plate.
Woodworth struggling over the last couple of games. In his last 10 at-bats, he's gone 0 for 9 and drawn a walk. Looking to come up with a big hit here.
Just outside, 3-0, be taking all the way. If they put 2 on, they could potentially ask Winkle to bunt them over and then let Fedko and Moriarty have a chance to drive some runs in to get back into the ball game. He's going to walk him on 4 straight, so it's first and second. Not what you want after you grab the 3-0 lead is to put the first 2 men on, but that's the situation, and now it's going to be up to Winkle and Fedko to make the most of it here for the Huskies.
And that'll bring the pitching coach to come out and talk for ECU through the first 4 innings. Agnos, I mean, he scattered 5 hits, but he was cruising. He struck out 9 and did not allow a walk. That's the first free pass of the ball game that UConn has taken. They did have a pitcher or a player hit in the 3rd. That was Susi. Huskies have had base runners in this game. It's just that timely hit has eluded them. Of course, those 3 RBI singles in a row have put ECU back where they want to be in the driver's seat through the middle innings of this game.
John 2 for 13 with the runners on, 1 for 7 with the runners in scoring position, but that 1 hit only moved the runner to 3rd. You see the clouds overhead here trying to finish up this championship game, but more in the weather. Let's hear from Haley Allen.
Yeah, Jeff, it is a cloudy, overcast day and just starting now to fill a few sprinkles. Nothing heavy, but just starting to fill a few drops down here.
Here is Winkle. Lefty-lefty matchup as Ross will come off the rubber. Outfield straight up, and again Litton in on the grass. So is Burleson at first, and participating a bunt here is the square. Pull it back for a strike. We talked about what a great job the league has done and the staff here in Clearwater at Spectrum Field doing everything for us, and fans watching online would see the sun earlier this week, and I know from some frustration wanting some days off here to rest your team a little bit, but the league basically told everybody, look, we're trying to get the tournament in. We understand maybe you're frustrated a little bit. We're trying to get to the championship game before everything comes in on the weekend.
Don't want to be stranded with a couple of teams that get through the semifinals and don't have a chance to play for the title.
1-1 now on Winkle.
4 games this week for UConn. In the 3 games that they won, they scored first. In the game that they lost to Houston, the game that they lost to USF, Bulls jumped out early and ran away with it.
Bunt, it is going to just go foul. That was a good pickup by Washer. That was just hopping around the baseline. Potential that thing could have made a little left-hand turn and gone fair, so good move to go ahead and touch it. 1-2. Now will they risk a 2-strike bunt by Winkle in this situation? We've seen a couple of teams pull off that very difficult task this week. We saw one fail at it. course, if you try it with 2 strikes, you're not trying to be too cute and go to third or first. You're just trying to get it out and play. Time called by Winkle. Winkle does have 4 sack bunts. That's second on the team. They have 29 as a club. Comes off the rubber just to see if Winkle was going to show it. He did not show it that time.
Ross allowed the single to Stefanski and the walk to Woodworth, so they've got an arm up in the pen for ECU. It's Trey Benton. Benton's already pitched once. That was in relief 3 days ago in the win over Tulane. Only threw an inning.
Drives one into right field. Here comes Stefanski around third, and the Huskies mounting a rally as they cut into that 3-0 deficit with their first run of the ball game.
Couldn't have come at a better time for the Huskies. They allow 3 in the bottom of the 5th and answer here with at least 1 run in the top of the 6th. Winkle with the RBI pulls this down into shallow right field. He'll hold at first base. No throw comes in, and the score for Troy Stefanski.
Here comes Cliff Godwin out of the dugout. It might do it for Ross. Ross an inning ago gave up a single. Got a nice play for Packard going into the wall in left field in foul territory. Looks like they may be making the call to the bullpen as we see gate starting to swing open, and that will do it for Ross today. Right now, 1 inning, 3 hits, 1 run. It's earned, a walk, no strikeouts, but he's on the books for potentially 2 more runs as the Pirates are going to make it a change. We're here in the top half of the 6th, and after 4.5 scoreless innings, we're now in the top of the 6th, and it's a 3-1 Pirate lead on the American Digital Network Plus.
$7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Oh, that ball is hit deep. Left field. Way back. That ball is gone. Double play ball potentially striking Stalls over to first. In time. Double play, and that ends the game.
Back in Clearwater, Florida, in the American Conference Championship game. After the Pirates put 3 on the board, the Huskies have come roaring back with their first 3 men reaching base, highlighted by the Chris Winkle RBI single, and ECU having to go back to the bullpen.
Trey Benton will make his 3rd relief appearance in the last 4 days. He's a weekend starter the last 2 years with the Pirates. 6'4", 205 pounds. He's a North Carolina native. Benton on the year 4-5 with a 3.1 ERA. He's got 9 starts and 10 appearances in relief. 65 1/3 innings pitched. That's good for 2nd most on the team. He's given up 65 hits, only 23 earned runs, and struck out 66. Opponents are hitting .262 against him.
Well, he's got a jam to get out of. He's got the tying run over at first, and Chris Winkle, Fetco, represents the go-ahead run in this ball game.
Benton threw 2 2/3 innings of relief in the loss to Houston, but he went scoreless, hitless, and struck out 2. So 2 days ago, Jeff, he threw 27 pitches in relief.
We'll see how he holds up. And that's not an unfamiliar situation to teams in championship ball games, whether it's league tournaments, NCAA regionals, or if you are able to make it to Omaha. If super regionals, you just treat like a 3-game series. Here we go. Fetko is 3 for 12, hitting .250 in the tournament. Ben's first pitch is up and in.
Fetko with a nice day yesterday to get to the title game. Started off a game with the single, also had a double and scored a run in the 6th before being lifted.
Benton trying to induce the double play. Winkle has 6 steals this year. We'll see if they put him in motion. Fouled it out of play to the left side.
82 miles an hour.
Fetko, the freshman, 246, 12 doubles this year, 27 RBI. Still looking for his first NCAA home run. Steps off the rubber, looks Woodworth and Winkle back. Deep breath. Laces that one foul over to the tarp.
Benton really reared back there. 93 miles an hour on our stadium gun. Fetko, that one came in quick on him.
Lloyd playing a little bit toward the middle at second with Winkle at first. One-two just down and away, that'll even things up.
Just on the outside part of the plate, tries to bring it back up. Count evens at 2.
Pirate fans coming to life here, trying to encourage Benton. Big swing and a miss, and there's one out.
First strikeout for the Huskies offense since the 4th inning when Moriarty went down. He'll come back to the plate here with 2 men on.
The 10th strikeout overall today by the ECU staff. Of course, it was Jake Agnos with a tournament record 9 strikeouts in his start in 4 innings. Then I'll bring up Connor Moriarty. He struck out twice, both times looking to now go just 2 for 14 so far in the championships. Turns the bunt, tips it foul off the glove. Trying to push another run to make it a 1-run contest is the thinking. Still plenty of at-bats to go. You're in the bottom of the 6th. 7, 8, 9. Lloyd, Burleson, and Brown due up for ECU in the bottom of the inning. Double play would get the Pirates back into the dugout. ECU, again, they've turned 6 this week. That's low. 1-1. Moriarty has different thoughts, though.
Benton's fastball has good life there, 90 miles an hour. But Moriarty won't chase.
At the least, would like to elevate a ball into the outfield deep enough to get Woodworth in from third. Throw over and Winkle back in safely. High fly ball. That should be deep enough. Hendrickson makes the catch. The throw comes to the second. We've got a one-run game on the sac fly by Connor Moriarty, and he'll drive in his 17th run.
So Benton allows the deep fly ball, at least deep enough to get the run in on the sacrifice. 28 runs scored on the year now for Woodworth, and it's a one-run game.
Tying run still at first in Winkle, top of the order. John Topa. 1 for 3 today. And 6 for 19 so far. He singled back in the third inning, came in at 281, a homer, 25 driven in. Winkle again leads with his 6 stolen bases.
Topa, one of 10 players remaining on the roster for UConn from that 2016 championship team. He went 2 for 4 in the title game 2 years ago, and of course has been a vocal leader for the Huskies for the last couple of seasons. Scored the winning run yesterday. Now back up here with 2 outs.
Popped it up into right field. William Sutton finds it now, begins to pick up some speed, and that will end the inning. But the Huskies are back in this ball game, getting 2 runs in the inning on a pair of hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We are going to move to the bottom of the 6th. 2 runs in the inning for the Huskies. It's 3-2 Pirates as we move to the bottom of the 6th. In the meantime, got a little more trivia for our viewers on the American Digital Network Plus as we go down to Haley Alton.
We've talked a little bit about the MLB today, a combined 200 draft picks from both of these programs, ECU and UConn. But viewers, we want to know if you can name 2 players, an alum from each of these teams that has played in the World Series.
All right.
You've made the eyebrows raise up here. I don't know if I can do that. That's a great question.
I thought Haley was going to go with tell us how many have made it to the big leagues out of the draft, but then she goes even higher.
Interesting.
Some World Series participants. A lot of history with these 2 programs. A lot of World Series too. So good luck. Everybody's going to be getting on Google now.
Jeff, I've got a stat for you, and it's a really impressive one that favors East Carolina. Leading after 6 innings, they're 33-0 on the year. Trying to put the hammer down. They'll need a little bit more offense, I think, as the UConn bats have come to life. But they've got a 1-run lead, bottom of the 6th, looking for more offense here against the Huskies.
They're going to send the bottom of their order up. Lloyd is 0 for 2, Burleson 0 for 2, and Brown 0 for 1 with a walk. He has scored a run. Just as soon as the Pirates look like they may kind of run away with it, getting hot in the bottom of the 5th, the Huskies came right back, and wow, I can't believe this. Haley Alton, did you already have an answer on this?
We certainly do. ECU came in first. David Matthews guessed Seth Maness, and that is correct, in 2013 with the St. Louis Cardinals. And also for the Huskies, George Springer, who not only played in the World Series, but took home a ring. Pretty cool.
Well, there you have it. Look on the draw. I thought that might take a while.
Springer, young man, was standing on this diamond just 7 years ago, helping his team to back-to-back title game appearances. One of the UConn greats.
I actually got to see Seth not only as a Pirate, get to see him come through the Cardinal organization with the Memphis Redbirds as he came back, and there's that World Series trophy.
I did the math this morning. Springer on this diamond in Clearwater was 20 of 48 and hit .416 in the conference tournament. Scored 14 runs for the Huskies.
So Lloyd ahead 2-1 on Dandino. There's a line drive, base hit into left field. And the Pirates continue to swing the bat well on this ball game. Got to bring up like Burleson, who's 0 for 2, a fly out and a ground out.
What a season it's been for Brady Lloyd. First team all conference, got a great ball to hit right there. He was second on the team in hits, runs, and stolen bases in 2018. Also a member of the honor roll back-to-back years.
Lloyd leads with a left-hander at the plate. Burleson takes it down and in.
left-hander warming in the pen for UConn. And because I said southpaw, you probably guessed it, Tim Cate.
Runner goes on a hit and run. That one's chopped foul.
So Tim Cate warming up in the pen for UConn, and at the end of the inning, out of the dugout for ECU, I saw the starter Chris Holba run down there, along with Sam Lanier, the junior right-hander. So they'll have a couple of arms that might get up here in the next inning or so.
Now, coming into this morning, we knew anyone that did not pitch yesterday would be available. Even if you had to come up with a matchup, just get a lefty-lefty, righty-righty, get one out, you're going to be all hands on deck in a championship ball game. See if Lloyd breaks again. He broke 2 pitches ago. There he goes. Strike call. The throw down to second, not in time. So the stolen base for Brady Lloyd. He's in scoring position, and now a 2-2 count on Burleson.
First bad throw down to second we've seen from Susie. And with nobody out, a runner in scoring position. Lloyd standing tall at second base.
Lloyd's 16th stolen base of the year.
Kind of came out of his hand a little bit funny. We'll bring the infield in for just a moment. Dandino wants to talk with Susie, coming over as well as Prado. Tim Cate, who is warming up over the wall, helped deliver the winner's bracket win against Wichita State. The Huskies won that game 7-5. Cate threw 3 2/3 innings of relief in Chase Gardner's start. He threw 48 pitches. That's been his only appearance so far. He struck out 7.
Ground ball up the middle. Woodward's got it. His only play to first base. There's one away, and that'll push Lloyd over to third. And now they'll just look for a ground ball up the middle or a fly ball by Turner Brown. Let's see if Jim Penders brings the infield in. It looks like he is. That's been his MO so far today, even early in this ball game. As they're going to call in Prado, Susie, and Moriarty. Short third and the catcher. Here comes everybody else to join in on the party. And here comes Grady Smith saying, hey, I've looked at the radar. We don't have time for a lot of meetings today.
Dandino gets the out there. I think he made the right decision not to pursue that ball. And I don't know if he could have gotten to it or not, but if he deflects that, then you got a runner coming around third, making it a 4-2 game. He lets his second baseman Woodworth clean him up to get the out.
Infield drawn in.
20th pitch coming here for Dandino and UConn.
Prado earlier gunned down Hendrickson trying to score on Lloyd's at bat. Popped it up into left field. We'll see if this is deep enough. Topa makes his way up. The catch. Here comes the throw. Here comes Lloyd, and he's in time. So the Pirates get one of the runs back on Turner Brown's sac fly to left field.
The 9-hole hitter producing the RBI, his 25th of the year, got it just deep enough. Topa has time to get under it and advance the throw. It was a little bit high, but boy, just short of getting the tag at the plate. Nice wheels there, and Lloyd comes to score.
Brown's been productive today. He walked, he scored one of the 2 runs. The sac fly drives in another one of the runs. So he has been in on 2 of the 4 runs today for the Pirates. Back to the top of the order, and it's going to be a Brian Packard, who is 1 for 2 with a walk and a really nice grab out in left field when he went up against the wall, just in foul territory to retire Zach Susie back in the 5th. And here comes Jim Penders. They're going to head back to the bullpen. That is going to do it for Dandino. And Dandino today 1 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs all earned, no walks, no strikeouts, and 21 pitches and 13 for strikes. And I imagine that's going to be Cate jogging in from the bullpen. It's a 4-2 Pirate lead here in the bottom half of the 6th inning from Clearwater.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions. careers in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states, 360,000 students, and 2.6 million alumni. Rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Oh, that ball is hit deep. Left field. Way back. That ball is gone. Double play ball potentially Schreitenthal's over to first. In time. Double play, and that ends the game.
C.J. Dandido, 1 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned, no walks, no strikeouts. They'll turn it over to Tim Cate.
Cate making his second appearance in relief this weekend. 6'1", 185 pounds out of Manchester, Connecticut. Let's take a look at Cate's numbers coming in for this relief appearance on the year. 4-4 with 7 starts, 2 more relief appearances, and a 3.26 ERA. They had to shut him down for a couple of weeks just to protect his arm, and this guy has been a starter 3 years running for the Huskies. 47 innings pitched, 47 hits, only 17 earned runs, 61 strikeouts. Opponents only hitting .270 against him. Looks like some youngsters having fun with their family out there on the berm.
It's the only batter that's hit the scoreboard this week. We just saw him crush one while Tim Cate was warming up. And Cate winds, delivers. And nobody on, 2 away as the Pirates get one of the runs back, and they lead it 4-2. Fouls it straight back.
I think in a couple years, Jeff, we're going to look back at this at bat and go, hey, Tim Cate versus Bryant Packard, couple of major league players right here. Cate came into the year with expectations of being a first-round draft pick, probably at least a top 2-round draft pick coming up later with the June 4th draft on the MLB Network. And I wouldn't even want to speculate on the ceiling for Packard. I mean, this guy's incredible. Flies through the outfield. Great bat. Came in hitting over 400 through the regular season. And the player of the year is just a sophomore.
28 extra base hits in the leadoff role. 14 doubles and 14 home runs. Sends it down the left field line, and he tucks it in fair. And it looks like that's going to be the 15th double of the year for Bryant Packard as he stands up at second base.
So a runner in scoring position. Cate left that low, and on the outside he went with it, drove it down in, and perfectly, like you said, tucked it in fair. For Cate, that's his 14th double given up on the year. He doesn't give up a lot of power ball hits.
Well, he heard you talking about his pro potential and thought, I might want to show the scouts how I can drive one to the opposite field, and he tucks it in, and they are out quickly to talk to Cate.
That'll bring Joshua McDonald, the pitching coach and assistant under Jim Penders. They just brought him into the ball game too. Sees one batter, and they'll come out to chat with him. That'll bring up Dwanye Williams-Sutton, who with 2 outs you would expect would be swinging away here. He's had a nice day so far. Seen the ball well from his first at bat on.
You mentioned just a second relief appearance, and it is a much different mentality than starting the game than relieving it. Starting, you work your way into the ball game. There's an immediacy and an urgency of relieving. I thought they brought him in at the right time. Once the bases were clear, that allows him to kind of work his way into the inning instead of a starter coming in and inheriting runners.
Well, I think the decision was coming into the conference tournament, we're going to use him in relief. He's not going to be a starter for us. He came in for Chase Gardner on the 23rd in the win against Wichita State that got them through the winner's bracket. He threw 3 2/3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, and 7 strikeouts.
William Sutton has a chance to get the Pirates that 3-run lead back, and a huge jump to third on a foul ball, and Packard sat there a little frustrated for a second. That was a gigantic jump on to Kate. Packard could have just walked into third base.
William Sutton up there at the plate. If that ball had taken a different hop, maybe gotten over the head of Moriarty, it could be a 5-2 ball game. Instead, the runner back at second on the foul. Love the aggressiveness on the base pass by these two teams.
Packard with 5 steals this year. They're going to hold him now. Up and out to even it up at a ball and a strike. Now the pitching staffs dueling each other for the first 4.5 innings, but the last inning and a half is where all the runs have come here in this ball game. On the inside, he flinched but didn't go.
It's been a pretty good week for the junior, Dwanye Williams Sutton. He now has 5 hits and 17 at bats. He just drew a hit by pitch. He scored 4 runs and has an RBI. Chance for him to come through and give a little breathing room to the reliever who's currently in the ballgame, Trey Benton, who's shown that he can go deep in ball games.
Kate will look Packard back to the bag at second. This is again a hitter's count. William Sutton this season, 23 walks to 30 strikeouts. 44th game, his 38th start of the year. Fouls it off, runs the count full.
Kate will walk back up on the hill. He was the American Freshman Pitcher of the Year in 2016, helped this team win the tournament title. In 3 seasons, he has won 13 games for the Huskies and already won this year in the tournament. He picked up the win against Wichita State.
Three-two, way up and out, and there's 2 men on with 2 outs for Spencer Brickhouse.
Just the second walk issued by UConn pitching today. Back-to-back innings. They gave one up to Turner Brown, who stole a base and scored a run in the last inning.
Brickhouse today, a pair of base hits, drove in a run an inning ago. 10 for 18 in the championship. Also picked up a stolen base in the first. Runs it up and in and misses.
If you're UConn, you'd really like for Kate to be able to settle in here, get you out of the inning, and then just let him cruise for a couple of innings. But it's a championship game. If he struggles here, gives up a hit that maybe drives in 1 or 2 runs, might have to make a change.
They've just gotten another right-hander up in the pen. Ball high, 2-0.
Joe Simeone, who had been up the inning prior, getting warm. For ECU during the break, we saw the rest of the pitchers run down to the bullpen. They're all sitting under the umbrellas now. Gavin Williams, number 26, trotted down there. Boy, he's got some electric stuff. We saw him high 90s in a relief appearance a couple games ago here.
So in the inning, Lloyd would single, Bortles would ground out. Brown a sac fly, double by Packard. William Sutton has walked. They got Packard bouncing around all over the place at second base. Time's finally called at the plate by Spencer Brickhouse.
The other pitcher that ran down for ECU was Evan Voliva, the junior. He's made a relief appearance this week as well at Spectrum Field.
High pop up into center. Stefanski calling for it. That'll end the inning. So the Pirates get one of the runs back. 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors. They'll leave 2 men on base. We have played 6 complete for the Huskies. 2 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The Pirates 4 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors. As ECU leads UConn 4-2. In the meantime, we go back downstairs to check in with Haley Out.
As we head into the top of the 7th, it's either go to break or keep playing trivia. So I say we keep playing on for our fans to answer in the comment section. So we want to know, how many seasons of baseball, including this year, has ECU baseball played? So grand total of seasons in all time for ECU baseball. How many seasons have they played?
Thanks a lot, Haley. Well, you have to get on your Google unless you know it off the top of your head and check that. I know they've got a lot of history at ECU. You take a look at championship history for the Pirates. 24 conference championships, 13 regular, 11 tournament, 28 NCAA appearances. This might give you a hint of the time range. They won a national title back in the NAIA back in 1961.
You can really talk about what's happened for them in the last 20 years under Keith LeClaire, now Cliff Godwin. When the NCAA regionals are announced on Monday on ESPNU, this will be the 15th time in the last 20 years that ECU is qualified for the regionals. Looking for a host site this season as well.
So for the Huskies, it's going to be 2, 3, and 4. Prado, Susi, and Feldstein due up. And right now we see Anthony Prado come up. He is currently 12 for 16 in the tournament. He is hitting .733 so far in this tournament. He is flirting with the tournament record. Right now he is tied with Josh Vidalis. And Josh Vidalis hit .733 back in 2014. Again, as you mentioned, a former Husky earlier, Ryan Daniello, in 2016 collected 13 hits. So the next hit would tie him with that. So needs a hit or a walk here to at least get that batting average, and again chasing the hits record. More importantly, he would like to get on base to help his Huskies rally and try to bring home another title. Inside, that will miss.
Trey Benton came in relief last inning. He got Fedco to strike out, the 10th strikeout of the game for the ECU staff. Gave up a sac fly RBI to Moriarty and then a fly ball out for Topa in the top of the order.
1-0 off the handle. Oh, a little soft liner caught by Litton at third. In off the handle, and there's one away, and that'll bring up Zach Susi, who's 0 for 2 today and 4 for 14. Down by 2 runs. Outs are starting to run down. Just jammed him in there.
That's the first time in 8 at-bats that Prado has been retired. Last time was in the game against Wichita State when he laid down a sac bunt and moved runners over. What a tournament.
Up and out 1-0. Susi swing and a miss. Now 1-1.
Susi was one of those players who suited up and started the 2016 title game, pounded out a hit, helped his team claim a championship.
Sends one into center. Henriksen retires Susi. 2 up, 2 down here in the top half of the 7th. Before we see Isaac Feldstein come to the plate, let's go back downstairs to Haley.
Update on trivia. We were looking for how many total seasons of baseball has ECU played, and Larry Powder came in with the right answer. It's 84 seasons, so we want to follow up with that. What was the first season of baseball at ECU?
I'm thinking Larry might have the answer.
Yeah, and you know the trick to that question is a lot of colleges took the World War II years off. So you can't just do the math all the time and backtrack 84 years. Here's the 0-1. Strike at the knees. Now a strike away from going 1-2-3 here in the 7th.
Despite the sac fly in the 6th inning, Benton has retired all 5 batters he's faced.
Oh-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. They sent him down 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base as the Huskies have retired here in the 7th. And ECU continues to lead this game by a score of 4-2 as we go to the stretch here on a cloudy afternoon in Clearwater, Florida, the American Conference Championships, as the Pirates are back into the dugout again with a 2-run lead. In the meantime, we go back downstairs with Haley Outen.
We were looking for the first season of baseball at ECU, and Joshua Pruitt came in with the right answer along with a few others. 1932. And Jeff and Garrett, you were right. There was a gap in ECU baseball from 42 to 46. So the program began in 1932 and they have played 84 total seasons.
There you go. Quick winners today as we get into the back third of this ball game at the bottom of the 7th, and the Pirates coming back out. They would be fine with scoring 1 run here, just extending the lead, keeping the momentum, because they have the Huskies down for their last 6 at-bats.
How good has ECU been in the back end of ball games when leading after 7 innings? They're 35-0 in 2018. We have a new pitcher checking into the ball game for UConn. It's number 25, Joe Simeone, a freshman.
So Simeone will come in to throw for the Huskies, and Kate, third of an inning, 1 hit, no runs, a walk, and no strikeouts.
14 appearances on the year for the freshman. 2 of them were starts, the rest in relief. He's 1-0 with a 6.2 ERA. 20 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 22 hits and 14 earned runs. He's walked 10 and struck out 17. Joe, opponents are hitting .278 against him in his first year up in Stores.
It's going to be Washer, Hendrickson, and Litton, 4, 5, and 6 in the order. Washer 1 for 2 today with a walk. Hendrickson 2 for 3, and Litton 0 for 3 this afternoon. So the right-hander continues to wrap up as Simeone now in the pitch. Now the wind still moving in from right field. We've seen just a sprinkle here or there, but wind's kicked up to about 8 miles an hour. Nothing really that's going to affect this ball game too much here late in this contest. Washer with 4 hits so far in the championships. Simeone, the right-hander. First pitch, a strike at the knees. He'll wait patiently, and the offering strike on the outside.
A little light rain earlier in the ball game, as Haley mentioned. We've got some raindrops coming down, blowing in from the east right now.
High pop up. Stefanski jogs in. Begins to walk it up, and there's 1 out. Just got him up under that one.
Drew Hendrickson coming to the plate now.
Joe bunt there, got the defense bouncing around 1-0. Hendrickson again 2 for 3 today. Makes him 6 for 13 in this championship tournament. Simeone with the delivery strike on the inside. Stefanski, Woodworth, and Winkle do up for the Huskies. That's 5, 6, and 7. In the top of the 8th. One showed the bunt.
I know the ECU coaching staff connected with one of their former players who's in town this weekend up with the majors, Mike Wright, who pitches for the Baltimore Orioles. He's in town to play the Rays. You remember last year's team, their highest draft pick was Evan Krasinski, who starred in this tournament. Cardinals picked him up in one of the top 10 rounds, went 9th round, 274 overall. It's that time of year.
2-1, popped it back. It's next weekend, right? That June 4th is going to be the first day of the draft. Big weekend for a lot of players pitching in regionals and waiting for a phone call as well. 2-2. Full count now at 3-2. Fouled straight back. So Henriksen stays alive at the plate with nobody on and one down here in the bottom of the 7th. Still a 4-2 ECU lead.
Simeone with good size out there for a freshman. 6'3", over 200 pounds, listed at 205, a Massachusetts native.
Fouls it again. Nice at bat here by Henriksen. Seeing a lot of pitches early on. High fly ball to right field. Feldstein walks to his left, and there's 2 away. That wind blowing in from right knocked that thing down. This is a night game with the wind blowing out. That may have been able to get out. That jumped off the bat, but that died quickly.
Simeone's done his job. Both Washer and Henriksen hit it hard, but just fly ball outs. He's retired 2 in a row.
Connor Litton's 0 for 3, a ground out, the shortest strikeout. He also hit into a double play. 5 for 17 this week, but he does have 4 doubles.
ECU torched Houston pitching in that semifinal win. They scored up 12 runs off 11 hits. Litton was 3 for 4 with 3 doubles. Litton also had 3 RBIs in that game.
Yeah, they jumped out quickly in that ball game against Houston. They were just down on pitching. They had to throw Bilobabic to start the ball game. And to his defense, there were a couple of errors. I believe he gave up 7 runs, only 2 were earned. Two-0 delivery now to Litton. Now 2-1. So we've seen a couple of dual role players here. Burleson, Bilobabic, Lockhart yesterday for USF. 2-1 is low again.
Litton in this week's tournament has 4 doubles, 5 hits total, 6 runs scored. Came into today's game hitting over 350.
He'll draw the 2-out walk. First time he's been on base today. I'll set it up for Brady Lloyd with 2 outs. Lloyd is 1 for 3. Singled and scored an inning ago.
So ECU with another base runner as Lloyd comes to the plate. Singled in his last at bat, scored a run. Simeone will have to contend with the runner on first behind him.
Quickly down on the foul ball.
First offering off speed, 73 miles an hour. Lloyd takes a big hack at it.
Lynn with the lead. He'll take a quick look over. Righty-righty matchup at the plate. Shows bunt. There's the strike call. Trying to catch the defense back, but he's down 0-2 now. There's no way. I think Lloyd's going to square again with 2 strikes. Runner goes. Here's a throw down to second, and they've got him. Susie guns down Litton. 15th runner of the year that Susie has retired. And that'll end the inning and bring Lloyd back to the plate in the 8th. So there's no runs, no hits, no errors, and no runners left on base. We're going to the 8th inning. The Pirates continue to lead the Huskies by a score of 4-2 in Clearwater.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is home.
This is UConn.
Something's happening here. Groundbreaking research, discovering molecules that kill cancer cells, T-cell generation that could treat MS, breakthroughs in particle laser physics, top programs graduating business leaders, teachers, nurses, physicians, dentists, and healthcare specialists.
If you're thinking this only happens at great national universities, you're right. This is ECU,
America's next great national university.
Here's a look at Spectrum Field here in Clearwater. All cloud cover today. It has kept the temperatures down. It's been a comfortable day to play ball, and we have stayed away from any of the heavy stuff. For more on the weather, back downstairs to Haley Alton.
I have added the rain jacket to my attire today. The rain, it's not coming down too hard, but it's definitely starting to pick up. But I will say, while it is raining a little bit, it is getting a little bit hotter and more humid down here. So definitely warm down here.
Thanks a lot, Haley. It's always kind of misspeak, you know, we're up here. We're fortunate enough to be a little bit of climate control. The window's open, but it is warming up a bit. As Haley said, it's 79 degrees. And again, we knew it'd probably spit a little rain here once we got about an hour and a half, 2 hours into the ball game. But again, big thumbs up to the league and the facilities here to get all 15 games in. Troy Stefanski is 2 for 3.
Things aren't getting any easier for the Huskies. They're down to their final 6 outs, trailing by 2, and Trey Benton in relief has retired all 6 batters he's faced.
Wind up with a 1-0 is going to be up and out.
Benton was a starter to begin the year, made 9 starts in a row, even got into conference play, played against USF, but for the last 10 matchups, he has come in relief and shined for them, picked up a couple of wins. We told you he made that 2 2/3 inning of relief appearance against Houston already in the conference championships.
The 2-0 is a high strike.
92 miles an hour from the house gun, and Stefanski sees strike 1.
Slider down and in. 3-1 hitters count for Stefanski, looking for his 9th hit of the week. 3-2, it's a full count.
Benton very familiar with UConn. They faced them last week to end the regular season. He threw 2 relief appearances up at Storrs, 3 2/3 innings of scoreless relief, only gave up 3 hits, struck out 1.
He's alive again on the 3-2 as the Pirate fans trying to will strike 3.
Couple of pitchers we've already seen this week warming up for the Pirates. Davis Kirkpatrick, number 12, and Zach Barnes, both upperclassmen.
And again, hanging in there. Stefanski this year has 16 walks. He's only struck out 20 times this year, and he has done that in about 245 plate appearances. And he draws the leadoff walk. 3rd time today Stefanski's been on. That was a very nice plate appearance for Stefanski.
First Husky to reach base against the reliever Trey Benton. Now he'll have to work with Michael Woodworth, who drew a walk and scored a run in his last plate appearance.
Stefanski over at first. 12 steals, but in a situation here where you don't want to run into an out. With Godwin making his way back out of the dugout.
Interesting to see who they could bring in here, whether it would be Kirkpatrick or Zach Barnes, who's made 2 appearances already. Kirkpatrick with 26 relief appearances on the year. Ryan Ross is the only one who has more. That's the end of the day for Benton. He did pretty good, retired 6 of the 7 batters he faced.
2 innings, no hits, no runs. He walked 1, he struck out 2 through 25 pitches, 16 for strikes today. Again, as Benton is now leaving the game, he still has a runner on the books. If Stefanski ends up scoring, he would be charged to Benton as they will head to the bullpen. We're here in the top of the 8th. The Pirates lead it 4-2.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
a big save,
a clutch hit,
and a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
Power is respecting an opponent, officials,
student athletes, coaches, and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions
while at the game.
Be American.
Power.
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 Power for life.
Oh, that ball is hit deep. Left field. Way back. That ball is gone. Double play ball potentially striking Stalls over to first. In time. Double play, and that ends the game.
ECU is headed back to the bullpen. Again, Trey Benton, 2 innings, no hits, no runs, a walk, 2 strikeouts. Davis Kirkpatrick coming out. It's not the first time we've seen him this week.
Well, he pitched earlier in the win against UCF in the opener for ECU. Kirkpatrick went an inning and 2/3, gave up just 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk through 31 pitches. So he hasn't pitched for 4 days. The senior who just graduated up on the hill.
He'll inherit Stefanski at first and Woodworth at the plate. Woodworth is the tying run in the ball game, and again, he's hit the only home run between these 2 clubs so far in the championship. So Woodworth over 2 with a walk. Rain picking up just a little bit as you see a few of the umbrellas start popping up. A few more raincoats in the stands. That one's popped foul right side. That'll get over the Husky dugout.
Kirkpatrick on the year has made 26 appearances, all in relief. He's 2-0 with a 0.80 ERA. That's fantastic. He also has 2 saves. 33 2/3 innings pitched. He's only given up 3 earned runs. He struck out 28, and opponents are hitting .218 against him in his senior and final year with the Pirates.
One flies it into right field. William Sutton had him played in. Takes a quick step back to bring his momentum back in, and there's one down. Gonna bring up Chris Winkle, who's 2 for 3 today.
Kirkpatrick's offering 87 miles an hour, kept it on the outer half of the plate, and it's just a fly ball to William Sutton, bringing up Winkle.
Brings UConn down to the last 5 outs. Stefanski again has stolen 12 this year. The only stolen base attempt today for the Huskies, Chris Winkle, who's at the plate now is called out on batter interference by Christian Fetko back in the 4th.
Kirkpatrick's 2 wins on the year. 1 came in conference play at Memphis. He threw 2 innings of scoreless relief. Also picked up a win in non-conference against Elon.
Runs it down and in. Nice stop by Washer.
Boy, both catchers have done a nice job in this game trying to keep balls that have missed their spots in front of them.
Turns on that one and rolls it foul under the tarp. They do have the infield shifted over a bit. Brown, the shortstop, was a little bit behind second. He'll give a little bit more leeway, but still playing up the middle quite a bit. Right back again, still 1-2.
I think a little bit of advantage goes to East Carolina yesterday in the semifinal. Cooch Maynard throws the complete game. They don't have to use the bullpen, and every time one of their guys out there has gotten into any kind of trouble. I mean, Benton was cruising and gave up a walk. You made the choice. You pulled him. You brought in a guy whose numbers might be a little bit better. UConn had to throw 4 guys yesterday. Maybe this pen a little bit fresher.
And in a week where you had to condense everything, reduce it by 2 innings, which meant, and it might not seem like a big deal, but probably 45 minutes earlier than we got done over here at Spectrum Field. Go ahead and get back to the hotel and get recovered, not only for your staff, but the whole team. Swing and a miss, ran it in, and there's 2 away.
29th strikeout of the season for Davis Kirkpatrick. More importantly, he came out of the pen and got the K. Pretty impressive there. Now Fedko will step to the plate.
Fedko is 1 for 3. Singled in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, again in the 6th. Runner takes off. Here is the throw down to second. Just gets around the tag. Risky move, but Garrett, I think they have to take it. Trailing by 2, have to get a runner in scoring position here.
Got to be able to push guys around. That's the UConn way. And like you said, they could have run themselves out of the inning, but he dives in just underneath the tag. Let's take a little bit closer look here. Washer throws down. That one a little bit elevated. The right call's made, though. Stays on the bag.
Went just to the right of the bag and got that left hand stretched out. Now Fedko can make it a run game. Two and 0 to Fedko. You've got Moriarty on deck. 0 for 2, did get a sac fly to drive in a run, drove in Woodworth back in the 6th. Line drive into left field, and the stolen base is going to pay off because here comes Stefanski to score. There goes Fedko on his way to second with a 2-out RBI double, and it's a 1-run game.
Not a lot of extra base hits for either team, but that one was well placed by Christian Fedko, who makes it a 1-run game. Boy, he's got a quick bat, sliced that one down the line into left, got all the way into the corner, and a 2-out double in the 8th could get UConn rolling here.
You don't ever know if Stefanski would have scored from first. He would have gone on contact. It was a double, got to the wall, could have been a play at the plate, but the stolen base made that a sure run on the double, and now they're going to have a pinch runner out there at second base, and it's going to be Nucerino. We've seen him several times this week.
Came in yesterday.
Now Moriarty has a chance to get the game tied up, pops it up in the center. Now we'll end the inning for the Huskies. Pulled within a run. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 4-3, ECU, they lead UConn in the American Conference Championship.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is home.
This is UConn.
Something's happening here. Groundbreaking research, discovering molecules that kill cancer cells, T-cell generation that could treat MS, breakthroughs in particle laser physics, top programs graduating business leaders, teachers, nurses, physicians, dentists, and healthcare specialists.
If you're thinking this only happens at great national universities, you're right. This is ECU,
America's next great national university.
Well, that gentleman, if he holds it back up, had the ECU no quarter flag, the red and gold flag. You see that in a lot of the football games. Between the quarters at Dowdy-Ficklin, they bring up different types of pirate flags, and he had the no quarter flag up for a while. Let's see if we can grab it a little bit later. He's hoping his Pirates can finish things off, but Jim Pender's Huskies roaring right back, and we've got a 1-run game. We've had a great championship game here in Clearwater with a little bit of spitting rain coming down this afternoon.
P.J. Poulin is over the wall warming up for UConn. He's made 2 appearances, has a save and a victory here in Clearwater this week.
Benton's final numbers now: 2 innings, no hits, a run. It was earned on no hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts after Kirkpatrick came into relief. Simeone stays out here for the Huskies. It's going to be Lloyd, Burleson, Brown. Lloyd 1 for 3. Fouls it off to even the count up at a ball and a strike. One. Inside, that caught him. Leadoff man on. 3rd time Lloyd's reached base today.
First batter hit by Husky pitching since Dwanye Williams Sutton wore 1 back in the 5th. That'll bring up the left-handed hitting Alec Burleson.
Comes Jim Penders out of the Husky dugout.
And I think we could see P.J. Poulin with a call being made.
Boy, he was ready, waiting at the door. He couldn't wait to get out of the bullpen. He didn't have to take the walk down the steps.
He's got 16 saves on the year. We'll tell you more about him when we come back from this break. ECU with a 1-run lead, up 4-3 on the American Digital Network.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle.
A big save.
A clutch hit.
And a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
Power is respecting an opponent, officials, student athletes, coaches, and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments.
Profanities or other improper actions.
While at the game.
Be American.
Power.
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 Power for life.
Oh, that ball is hit deep. Left field. Way back. That ball is gone. Double play ball potentially striking Stalls over to first. In time. Double play, and that ends the game.
Simeone today, 1 inning, no hits, no runs, a walk, no strikeouts, 22 pitches, 10 for strikes, and P.J. Pullen coming in to throw down for UConn.
Pullen, the winner of yesterday's walk-off win against USF. He threw an inning of scoreless relief, gave up 1 hit, only faced 3 batters and threw 14 pitches. He's got a couple of relief appearances here in Clearwater this week. Let's take a closer look at his numbers. This will be his 30th appearance on the year. Previous 29 all came in relief. 6-2 with a 3.38 ERA and a American record 16 saves on the year. 42 2/3 innings pitched. He's only allowed 19 walks, struck out 53. Big moment for him. Opponents hitting just .241 against him. He's got a runner on behind him at first base.
You mentioned earlier the amount of scouts you've seen out here this week between the 2 parks. As soon as Pullen came in, saw a couple make their way down the steps. They were high and dry in the concourse, but wanted a little bit closer look at this young man. Burleson stands in. Over 3, he's going to show bunt. They're going to try to get this run back. It's going to be down low. Burleson today, pair of ground outs and a fly out.
PJ listed at 6'1", 185 pounds, out of Marion, Massachusetts, in his junior year.
Will come crashing in. It's the bunt fair. Pullen the first, little wide, nice stretch down there by Winkle, and there's 1 out. That'll push Lloyd into scoring position for Turner Brown.
Let's see how well the pitcher fields his position. The throw to first base. Winkle uses all of his 6'5" frame to stay on the bag there.
Brown grounded as short in the 3rd, walked and scored in the 5th, brought in a run on a sacrifice in the 6th inning. The Huskies just closed it to a run. The Pirates trying to get that run back. Top of the order, by the way, due up for the Huskies in the 9th. Not only did the bottom half of the order get a run, they put the Huskies in good position if they can hold this thing to a 1-run game. Round ball just foul at 3rd.
Pretty nice career for Turner Brown at ECU. He started 162 of 166 possible games, 9 home runs, and approaching 90 RBIs.
One. Up and out. So Lloyd stays planted on second, now begins to get his lead. He was hit by a pitch, sacked up to second. Two and two, the count now even. The offering swing and a miss, lunged out in front of that one, and there's two down. And they're going to come out and talk to Pooling quickly. I don't think they're not going to make a switch here, but they want to discuss the situation as they go back to the top of the order. And Bryant Packard, who is 2 for 3 with a walk today.
Packard talking with Cliff Godwin down the third baseline. UConn 1 out away from getting back to the plate in the top of the 9th inning, trailing just by 1.
Started off with Lloyd being hit by a pitch. Burleson sacked him to second. Brown struck out. Packard a chance to make it a 5-3 game.
Packard probably with his biggest hit, a RBI single back in an earlier game, had a 3rd inning, finally came around and got himself a hit against the Houston Cougars. And then, of course, had to sit out yesterday. In the last 2 games, he was not in the starting lineup. Impressive that they were able to get wins there. And also, wanted to mention this, without Tyler Smith, a guy that's 7-1 on the year, they've been able to advance to the title game without one of their starting pitchers.
Packard a couple of days ago, you mentioned he missed the last 2 days in a game that you and I did. Went down funny trying to go for a ball in left field. We thought he had caught his knee and still may have kind of caught the knee a little bit, but it aggravated a tight back, and so they sat him down the last 2 days. Ground ball to first, picked up by Winkle. That'll end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, a runner left on base. We are headed to the 9th inning here in Clearwater, and it's going to be the top of the order. Topa, Prado, and Susie needing at least 1 run to extend their time in Clearwater. It comes your way next on the American Digital Network.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Power comes in all forms. Power is a big tackle,
A big save.
A clutch hit.
And a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
Power is respecting an opponent, officials, student athletes, coaches, and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments.
Profanities or other improper actions.
While at the game.
The American.
Power.
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 Power for life.
Well, 3 outs away from a championship for the Pirates. It would be their 2nd one in the American, winning it back in 2015 over the Houston Cougars 9-1. They lost 6-0 to Houston a year ago, but UConn's got something to say about that. And again, bottom half of the order did a nice job to get a run for UConn an inning ago and get it back to the top.
Davis Kirkpatrick has 2 saves on the year. The senior will stand back up on the hill, try and deliver a conference title for the 2nd time in 4 years for the Pirates.
Pirate fans making some noise here. Their team 3 outs away. Here is Topa, who is 1 for 4 today. He is 6 for 20 so far this weekend. Shows bunt, takes a strike. 1-1 now from Kirkpatrick. Fly ball to right field, William Sutton. 1 out. Anthony Prado now, your hottest hitter in this tournament. 3 for 4 today, and he is 12 for 17 overall.
Prado looking calm and cool, stepping into the box. UConn's been able to have some big-time hits when it mattered most in this game. Prado's just got to take a deep breath and see well what Kirkpatrick gives him.
1-0. He evens the count up.
This is the 3rd time that UConn has seen Kirkpatrick in the last week or so. He did 2 scoreless innings of relief in the regular season.
Strike call on the outside. Reaches out and hangs in there. Swing and a miss, struck him out. There's 2 away.
Huge pitch there. Kirkpatrick gets the 13th strikeout of the day by the UConn Huskies offense. Prado overpowered at the plate here late in the game.
It's going to be up to Zach Susie to keep this thing going. Susie 0 for 3. He's been hit by a pitch. He is 4 for 15. Ground ball up the middle, and Susie keeps things alive for the Huskies. They've been waiting for the big hit all week from Isaac Feldstein, who is now 2 for 18 in the championship tournament, but on the season 12 doubles, a pair of triples, and 13 home runs.
I think a pinch runner is coming for the Huskies. So Susie, the catcher, will be replaced most likely with one of the fastest players on the squad coming in. Looks to be number 6 for the Huskies. He would, of course, represent the tying run.
Andy Haig.
Haig is in.
Feldstein came into the day 276, 13 homers, 40 driven in. Sends one into left field. It's caught. The treasure and the trophy belong to ECU. They are the champions of the American.
A 1-run victory for ECU, 4-3 over UConn. They win their 12th tournament championship all time and will make their 15th appearance in the NCAA regionals in the last 20 years.
Pirates won in 2015. They come back 2018. A year ago, with so many injuries, so many expectations, made a run to the title game, a healthy season, and ECU raises the trophy.
A lot of purple and gold fans going home happy from Clearwater, Florida. Pirates improved to 36-0 when leading after 7 innings. The game got close. UConn was able to put runs on the board in the 6th and then again in the 8th. But ECU slammed the door, and it was a senior that did it. Davis Kirkpatrick picks up his 3rd save of the year.
If there was any sort of doubt, Garrett, I think that puts the exclamation point on a host site for this Pirate Ball Club.
It has to. They came in with a top 13 RPI, as said by the NCAA. I think this will only raise their rankings in the coaches' polls and the RPI. They've got it going.
Getting set up for the trophy ceremony down on the field. In the meantime, Haley Outen is next to a very excited Cliff Godwin.
Coach, you knew you were going to have to piece your pitching together today, but Jake Agnos able to throw 4 scoreless innings, 9 strikeouts. How did that impact the approach in the bullpen the rest of the game?
Well, I'll tell you what, their guy did a really good job, Holmes, of keeping us off balance. And what Jake did, I think, in the 3rd inning, striking out the side with the bases loaded, I thought that was the key in the game because I thought we were pressing a little bit offensively. But, you know, the guys came out of the bullpen, Ryan Ross, Trey Benton, and Davis Kirkpatrick, did what they've done all year. And I'm just so happy for a guy like Davis Kirkpatrick, 5th-year senior, been through a lot, Tommy John surgery, to be on the mound when we won it.
Tough schedule this week. Fitting that it's ending with some rain right now as you all are champions. What trait does this team have that they were able to persevere through all the changes this week and come out on top that can carry them far in the postseason?
A lot of toughness. You know, we've faced a lot of adversity this year with some injuries, some sicknesses, and they've answered the bell every single time. We like to call ourselves blue collar, and you know, the guys just did a great job.
Your team has played in this game 3 of the last 4 years, champions twice. Why is this program able to consistently stay at the top?
This program was good long before I got here, and East Carolina's got a great tradition and great history, and I'm just happy for Pirate Nation.
Lastly, I have to ask you about your fans. They travel in numbers. We had thousands of them tuning in right now on Facebook. How vital are they to this program?
Pirate Nation, we'll see you in Greenville next week, baby.
There you have it.
Haley, very excited. Cliff Godwin, as he just said, see you next week. He knows. He wants to send that message, and they deserve it. That host site at Clark LeClaire Stadium next week. As the host sites will come out in this selection show tomorrow and Monday. But the Pirates really did a nice job taking care of business. What a game, though, and you got to give a lot of credit to Jim Penders and his Husky Ball Club, too. They're going to be hoping maybe for a host site. They're definitely going to get into the NCAA. And as we saw this week, Garrett, with 5 teams coming in with a chance at an at-large, you look at this league, currently 4th overall. They've been as high as number 3 this season. We'll see how that shakes out this weekend with the RPI. I think they're deserving of all 5 bids.
Well, I think the 4 teams that made the semifinals, as well as UCF, have a very good argument. Everybody with 35 or more wins on the year, the high RPI numbers. I just want to say we expect the graciousness out of Cliff Godwin, and we just keep getting it. What was the first thing he said to Haley? What a great job by Holmes, the starter for UConn. You know, it wasn't until they knocked him out of the game in the 5th, and that's when the onslaught happened. Brickhouse, Washer, Hendrickson in the 5th, all with back-to-back-to-back RBI singles. They'd score another run on a sac fly RBI in the 6th, and they laid it. Came away with a big win. Just happy for their program. What a great day for ECU.
A disappointed UConn team coming back into the dugout here, but what a job they did after maybe coming up a little short last year, one of the last teams that were left out. I think they are in, no doubt, this year, making the championship game. We're going to let you watch a little bit of this award ceremony. We're not going to go anywhere as ECU has the trophy now. The runner-up trophy now being presented to the UConn Huskies. We'll let you watch this award ceremony. We'll lay out a little bit later when they start giving the individual awards, and then we'll find out. And it's hard to tell right now. There's no obvious, at least to me, most outstanding player right now. So many contributors.
Congratulations once again to the UConn Huskies.
And now we're about to give you the individual awards here. They are going to award the all-conference tournament team. We will let you know as they announce them officially out here to the crowd. I can tell you right now, going to be some happy ECU and UConn fans, as you would expect, both making the championship game.
Your championship trophy.
Right now, presenting the individual trophies to the ECU Pirates for their championship this afternoon. Gary, maybe the biggest accomplishment as they get their individual trophies for the title is the fact that we got all 15 games in this week. That was a big, we got here Tuesday. They really were concerned. How are they going to manage this? Were we going to get a championship ball game this week?
Isaac Feldstein at the plate, final out. Davis Kirkpatrick gets the win, and now during the award ceremony, of course, the rain is falling. So we got it in just in the nick of time, and the fans getting the wet treatment down on the field. But it's great to see their guys coming away with the trophy. Coach Godwin just got the biggest hand out of anybody, and this is an exciting part of the year for ECU because not only are the regionals starting, hopefully you're going to host, but you're going to go through the NCAA postseason. I think the ceiling for them is very, very high, and then later Coach Godwin's going to go help coach USA Baseball, Team USA. They'll travel all across the world. It'll be another way for the ECU banner to fly internationally everywhere he goes.
Congratulations once again to the ECU Pirates. And after the announcement of the 2018 All-Tournament team.
Here comes the All-Tournament team.
Outfielder Brent Witherspoon. From Houston, designated hitter Joe Davis.
The non-UConn and ECU players will let you know they're announcing them out. Joe Davis for Houston got the utility. Brand Witherspoon for Tulane, one of the outfield spots. Coco Montez from USF, an infielder. Tyler Dietrich, USF. Colin Sullivan, USF. Those are your non-participants here today that made the all-tournament team. Now here come your participants. For UConn, it will be Jacob Wallace, Anthony Prado, and Troy Stefanski for the Huskies. What a number at the plate Anthony Prado did this week.
Well, the young man had 10 hits in the conference tournament last year and hit over 600 and bettered that his sophomore year. Pretty impressive. There are a bunch of guys for UConn that left it all out on the field, Jeff. The senior, John Topa, Prado, Zach Susi. All of these guys gave everything they could. UConn comes up just a little bit short. But again, a bright postseason ahead for both these two programs.
Cooch made it the first Pirate announced for the all-tournament selection.
Through a 7-inning complete game victory yesterday against the regular season champs Houston.
Spencer Brickhouse, one of their infielders. Turner Brown, outstanding job at short, not only the plate but defensively this week.
Turned some double plays up the middle. Brown with a nice week. I think Brickhouse should be in contention for most outstanding player. We'll see who they end up with here in a couple of minutes.
Our outfielder Drew Henriksen, the fourth member of the all-tournament team for ECU. And up next will be the most outstanding player.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the presentation of our final award of the championship, the 2018 American Baseball Championship Most Outstanding Player. The 2018 American Baseball Tournament's Most Outstanding Player from ECU's Dexter Brickhouse.
We you go. You called it. Spencer Brickhouse, the most outstanding player for the ECU Pirates and the American Conference Tournament as they take home the championship trophy. And most outstanding player, again, congratulations to Spencer Brickhouse.
The sophomore North Carolina native. First baseman comes away with a big piece of hardware. Here's the one everybody wants, though.
Well, that championship picture, that'll hang up at Clark LeClaire Stadium somewhere for the team and the fans to see now for all time. They have added yet another championship to a long list. 25th total conference championship in ECU history. That's their 12th tournament title to add to the 13 regular season titles. They'll add a 29th NCAA appearance. We'll see how much further they go. Spencer Brickhouse this week ended up going 10 for 20, 2 for 4 today, and back down on the field now is Haley Allen.
I am joined by the most outstanding player of this year's tournament, Spencer Brickhouse. Spencer, 2 for 4 in RBI today, and you're holding a whole lot of hardware right there. How do you sum up this moment?
I mean, it's awesome, man. I'm just glad God blessed me, you know, to have the ability to come out here and come play for a team like ECU. I mean, we played our hearts out today. And I mean, UConn played their hearts out. I mean, we just came out on top. It's good to play with these guys. I mean, these teammates of mine, you can't ask for any better ones. They're awesome. I mean, I thank God every day for all that He has given me, and I'm blessed to be here in this moment.
This team had to face quite a bit of adversity this week. Why is your team able to push through these tough times and come out on top?
I mean, we go through a lot of hardship in the fall. I mean, Coach, he puts us through a lot of tough times just so we'll be able to withstand stuff like this. And I mean, it's always good to come out on top when tough times come around, and you just got to be mentally tough, and we stick together. I mean, we're a brotherhood, and that's what it comes down to. And, you know, I'm glad I had these brothers behind me, and that, you know, we could always come out and support each other no matter what.
This team walked away from this championship empty-handed last year. How did that impact the mentality heading into today's final?
I mean, it started, you know, right after last year. I mean, we had a chip on our shoulder right when we stepped back foot in Greenville. I mean, it really hit us hard, and it's good to come back here and, you know, get a win and be a team like UConn. I mean, they're phenomenal. I mean, it's good to beat the teams that we did this week, and hopefully we can keep it going to regionals.
As you look ahead to regionals and the hope to host here next week, fans travel to watch you guys and are tuning in online right now. What do you anticipate the level of excitement is right now in Greenville, where they hope to see some baseball next weekend?
I think there's a lot of excitement. We have the best fans in the country. I mean, it's always good to have them. I mean, there's a lot of excited fans in Clearwater right now. I mean, honestly, I mean, it's always good to have a lot of fans behind you. I mean, we go to all these different places. We come down to Clearwater, we go down to different places, and we always have fans. It's always good to have people that have our back. And I mean, in tough times and, you know, hard times, no matter what, we have fans, and it's always good to have that.
Congratulations, Spencer. I think your teammates want to enjoy this one with you. Thank you. Safe travels back.
Thank you.
Spencer Brickhouse, your most outstanding player.
Last time that ECU was in the NCAA regionals, they took home a regional crown in Charlottesville, Virginia, and advanced to the super regionals. Jeff, when you look back at this team, they've certainly got super regional potential and maybe more written all over them.
Quick thoughts. Great tournament this week, and again, as we hope, host site for ECU, potentially UConn, but hoping for those 5 bids to the tournament.
I think everybody did a great job. We had a great showing, especially by the staff, the players, and everyone who kept getting both fields ready for us. We saw triple plays. We saw game-winning hits. All the people that were involved made it such a special week in Clearwater. 2018 will truly go down in the books, and when they write it, it'll be ECU with the championship by their name.
A 4-3 final today for the ECU Pirates. They're your 2018 American Conference Tournament champions here in Clearwater. For the staff at Spectrum Field all week, Scott Railing, his crew on the American Digital Network, my broadcast partners Haley Allen and Garrett Walworth. I'm Jeff Primal. Thanks so much for joining us, and good afternoon and good week from the American Conference Championships here in Clearwater, Florida.